It's the Rushmore Show where it's all about your top four and nothing more. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means, Andy. It is time for another Rushmore.
Yes, it is.
Are you excited? You look excited.
Listen.
I got me some new glasses so I can see
it. That. So I was gonna say, man, I'm digging it. I'm digging the style.
Yep.
I know you're trying to go
change the logo. I'm gonna have to put some regular glasses on me now. But hey, man, welcome everybody in the chat. We're a little behind. Honestly, my son's practice is 6:30 to 7:30. And I had to fly here from 30 minutes and getting everybody together. I mean, it's just one of those things. I appreciate everybody being here. Man, let's chat really quickly about some people. Let's say hello to the people in the chat first. Andy, you want to drop through a few?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let me scroll all the way back. Yeah. Again, we're 10 minutes back, but the first comment tonight, DJ Wise was in the house.
First comment, Jam.
Mort
Weekly Pipe, Russ Lyman in the house.
Mort's here. Retro obviously is here too. PNX World is here. Poetically Christian Gamer.
Hey, that's a cool logo. I just made that up for him.
Yeah, go back to that one. Look at that thing. Look at that. That's
pretty cool. I made that logo up for him. Yep.
Isaac is in the house. Pacmancase also in the house.
Glad Pac-Man's here.
Steve Craig Retro Games. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Scroll down. Pick and Preacher Keith is in the house. There he is. Barry, play me some mountain music. There we go. And we got Waves Games in the house.
I know we kind of just glanced by it, but Mort says Beetle Adventure or he riots.
Let's start a riot. And then we got Retro Cart here.
I'm not a riot. You're a riot.
So I think I've caught everybody up here with who's here. So glad all of you guys are joining us tonight. We got 13 in the chat already. We got a very special episode tonight. We're almost done, Kirk, with the video game series. It's always a bittersweet moment because on one hand, in next month we're moving to music. It's kind of like my nerd out area. But so much great things happen when we talk about video games. We have a great community of people that are in the video game world and the con world and all that kind of stuff. But how are you feeling about this whole series that we've been going through?
So what I love about video games, and you kind of nailed it, we're in the convention world now, at least in the Southeast Louisiana convention world. Kind of hanging out at some other ones, we're meeting people. And everybody loves games, so they're showing up. And hopefully they see who we are, what's going on. So when we jump out of games, we do have some video game episodes in music. We're doing boss battle music. We're doing one in movies that became games, a bunch of nostalgia. We've got about 3 or 4 in nostalgia. So we're still going to hit video games, but we're going to jump into we're a little bit of a variety. But hey, I'm excited to get into music because that's your jam. So yeah.
There you go. No pun intended on that one. This is gonna be fun. Bryce JW's in the house too. What's going on, Bryce? Love to see you here, man. But yeah,
Bryce, love you, buddy.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. But hey, look, let's not. What did Dr. Seuss say? Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Right. But we're not done with video games.
We're not done with video games. Let me tell her hello before we get started. Hello, Genesis. Genesis is one of my students. So Kevin, one of my best friends from when I was Genesis's age. So hey, let's get this thing going, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go Rushmore of now. Andy, did you have a hard time with this one?
Yeah, and I'll tell why. Not because it was necessarily hard to think of a bunch of games. I love the N64. But tonight's topic specifically puts a different little twist caveat.
So last week we did overrated games. This week we did underrated games, but we nailed it down to a console. So we're doing the Rushmore of underrated or hidden gems in the Nintendo 64. Let's get it. right, man. Well, here's the thing. I went and looked it up. It was almost 2 years ago. we invite one of our good friends who's coming back. I can't believe it. He's coming back. New 80s Revolution to come and do an episode on wrestling. And we find out that this video game nerd loves wrestling. We tap into a little bit of that and say, hey, why don't you come join us on that show? And we do wrestling belts. I meet this guy at the conventions, kind of chat with him. He actually was right up the road here and just missed him. Like, I showed up at the booth, he was gone. Man, I've come to love his channel. And through him, actually, I found our other guest, who these guys, at least on camera, act like they're buds. But they hang out at the conventions. And yeah, we're going to bring on, they say their fans know him by Pacmancase and Retro Wolf. Guys, let's invite some video game nerds and historians to the show. Hey, let me get that. Let me get that right there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got to get that.
Well, it's funny you put that camera angle on because we've had plenty of guests come on and that was their default camera. So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, man,
yes.
It's been a minute. We actually had you booked, or not booked, but we were in conversation, Andy, Pacmancase, to have you on again. The first time we were going live last year, and you take over a video game store over there in the Greenville area, and you get basically swamped, and you're like, man, I'm gonna have to back out. We'll jump in again.
Yeah.
And man, we come back around a year later and just send a flyer, and you're like, yeah, let's do this thing. And then we happen to see you at Louisiana Retro Con, get to hang out a little bit. Yes, and then obviously I met Retro Wolf over at Siege specifically for the first time. And he was like, yeah, connect with me. Started connecting with him through the community. I love this community, man. This community is bar none my favorite on YouTube.
So good.
Not just the video game community, but there is a video game community of about, I'd say, 30 to 50 creators that at any time they run into each other and it's just like family. Mm-hmm. And I love kind of being on the outskirts of that now and meeting all these people. It's just a great time. So for anybody who doesn't know you, which a lot of the people are in that community on the chat, but we have other people, other friends. Let's start, Pac-Man. Tell us kind of why video games, what's going on in your channel, who you are, and then we'll let Retro Wolf talk a little bit.
All right. So to make things easier on the show, since we already got an Andy, I will step back, and tonight you can call me Pac. Okay, we'll just make it Pac. Make it easy. Pac Daddy, if you wish. That's fine too.
I'm not saying
that's what I call him.
I'm not saying that. So I started my YouTube journey literally 6 years ago, like last week, where I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to somehow get my creative juices flowing. And I just happened to love video games. I paired the two together, and the rest is kind of history. I was invited out for my first convention from Austin at Southeast Game Exchange, and everything from that point on changed my entire life, including now running the Video Game Cavern in Greenville, South Carolina. So wild stuff. It's been awesome. One of my best friends is in the podcast tonight, and that is Retro Wolf. And so I love that guy. It's been freaking rad. It's been such an awesome experience, and I could keep going, but we don't want to bore anybody tonight.
Hey, let me just say this real quick. Nightbot is already feisty tonight.
Okay.
So Nightbot, you got to.
Well, here's the thing. It's because Retro Wolf is not a mod yet, and we're throwing that bone right now.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
let's do it.
You got to be in the know to be on the good side.
You got to be in the know.
There.
You know, Nightbot is kind of fickle. Like, I tried messing with Nightbot. I am not smart enough to fix that thing. And it's supposed to have all these different prompts and just type in this and do. And the only thing it likes to do is get on people for caps. So I don't know. It's kind of a fun running joke now. Yeah. So all right, Retro Wolf. What got you into video games? Why video games? What's going on in your channel? Tell us a little bit about what they would find if they showed up over at your space.
Well, first, let me just say, Andy, aka Pacmancase over here, is like a brother to me, and I am so happy to be on this podcast with him. Andy, when did we meet in person? It was at Siege 2021, right?
Yeah, so we've been chilling now together for about 4 years, dude.
Wow, that's crazy, man. We've made some good memories. Me and Andy have had some good times. We've had some really good times.
We have. You remember that moose? No, just kidding.
Yeah, I do. The Toys R Us moose. Oh wait, that's a giraffe. Never mind.
That was different.
Yeah, that's not a moose. Yes, I am Retro Wolf. My channel has gone through a couple of different changes across the years. When I first started YouTube, I initially wanted to be a hunting channel because when I started my game collection in 2016, the channel that inspired me to start a YouTube channel was literally the Game Chasers, and that's what I wanted to do, hunting content. But when I started the channel, I started off mainly doing in-studio content for like the first couple of years. I didn't really enjoy it. That just wasn't really where my passion was. So eventually in 2022, January 2022, I transitioned to mostly hunting content. I try to add a twist on things. I try to do some unique stuff, but my whole shtick is, at least right now in the current story arc of my channel, I'm going for a complete GameCube set for the second time, except this time smarter and cheaper than the first time and even more complete. And it's been a lot of fun. So I'm basically chronicling that whole journey in the channel. I mean, that's not the only thing. There's a lot of other things that I do in videos as well. It's not all GameCube. But GameCube is, of course, where a lot of my passions are as a collector and a hunter. And that's what I like to showcase on the YouTube channel. And the other passion would be vintage Nintendo collectibles, most of which are in that beautiful lit up glass cabinet behind me. And I do a lot of game room tours, and I do a lot of game store tours too here in the last couple of years. So,
man,
yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
Hey,
man.
so we got some people in the chat before we get going. Agent Smith, welcome. He is one of Bryce's guys. He's always in Bryce's chat. And who else? GameCube Galaxy, welcome in, man. And everybody else that I may have missed, you're now
Saturn
part
Steve
of the Summit Squad. Yeah, Saturn Steve. Nightbot doesn't hate you, man. Yeah, so now that you guys are part of the Summit Squad, this is for you. Now, what does that mean? You're now a part of the club. So what we're going to do is we're going to chase down our top 4 favorites of our topic. Our topic tonight is underrated Nintendo 64 games. You can follow along in the chat with us. So when we say our number 4, you do your number 4. If you got to head on out, do me a favor. Drop your top 4 in the chat. Come back later tomorrow and drop your 4 in the chat again. That would be fantastic in helping out what we got going on. The last few weeks, guys, have been just monumental for our channel. Since the last week of November, we've pretty much quadrupled in just viewership and everything. This is our 4th year. We just started our 4th year in January. Rolling in to that, we hit our 1,000 subs. We hit our 3,000 first year, and we are probably maybe 2 or 3 episodes away from hitting the 4,000 tier at the rate we're going. So if you guys would do us a favor, go and drop a comment in the thing. And also, if you leave early, let me know. In Instagram tonight or tomorrow, there will be our who has the best picks tonight. And I have to celebrate somehow or another. Andy won last week.
I did it finally.
You won. You did it. You finally did it. So Andy pulled one out, and it was one of those underdog stories. We didn't think it was going to happen. So I think there might have been some ballot stuffing. You know, we have to recount, do some of those things, but the vote will be on Instagram. If you could jump on there and vote and let everybody know who has the best. So tonight we flipped the coin back at, it was an arm wrestling match in the green room, and Pac-Man has won. He's going to go first. He elects to receive. So that means it's going to be Pac, Wolf, Andy, Kirk tonight, and what we like to do, Wolf and Pac, is
Wolfpack.
We almost started a channel. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, Wolfpack was on my favorite stables. So here's the deal. Before we jump in and say what you're doing, we like to give criteria. Here's the reason why for all the new people in the chat. Oh, by the way, last week we broke the record for the most amount of people in this little number right here with 40. So let's see if we can get that joker to 41. So here's the deal. We give your criteria because if you're a football fan, this is the easiest one for me, or a basketball fan. There's a couple people that generally make it on the Newsweek or the ESPN or the Rolling Stones #1. So depending on what you're voting on. So if we say who's the best quarterback in the world, most people would probably try and put Tom Brady on there unless you're from New York, unless you're from New Orleans, unless you're from places that play him all the time.
Unless you're places
then
that
you just
aren't
hate
New
him
England.
and you don't want him on the mountain, and people go, wait, this doesn't make sense. You're building a Rushmore. How's he not there? Because Rushmores to us are personal. They're where you're from, how you grew up, who your parents are, what your parents did for a job. Did you have that when you were a kid? So before we start our first time, you're going to say, why did you make this list in this way? And then give us your number 4. Pac, you're up first. So what's your criteria tonight?
So I went for stuff that hits me right in the feel goods. This is This is the stuff that not only did I play as a child, but that I also feel a lot of people are like, what in the world is that? So that means a lot to me, because when you say the word hidden gem, most people don't know what that means anymore. A lot of people, and not everything's a hidden gem these days. So I truly think these are true hidden gems that I absolutely love. If that answers the question.
That perfectly answers the question.
Perfect. Excellent.
So, all right. So, Pac, you're going to get us started.
Oh,
Yep.
wait, time out. Pause.
Oh.
Just in case he leaves, we wish him to say hello to Francisco. And Francisco, I can tell you, Andy is not, and our Andy is not putting this on the channel. I can tell you that.
If it were up to me, it wouldn't make it tonight, but I have a feeling it will be mentioned tonight. So it is what it is. So it's okay.
Anyways, all right.
All right. So, Pac, you're up. We're going to do it Rosie.
Okay.
Rosie for Roosevelt.
Okay.
First one off the list. This is always, we say it every time, it's always, for most people, it's the most difficult one because it's like the line in the sand. Nobody else gets in my top 4. It's the gatekeeper, right? I mean, 1, we usually know our number 1, maybe our number 2, but 4 kind of goes back and forth. So, where did you land on with your Rosie of N64 Hidden Gems?
My Rosie for this evening is the one, the only Robotron 64. So the reason this one lands on the list is because this game is crazy addictive. So this was one of those games that at first you're like, ugh, Robotron. I remember playing that with squares and blocks back in the day. That is not how this one plays. This one still has like the twin stick shooter, but it is endless. So all you are is challenging yourself, just like a game of Tetris, for how far you can get. And it is incredibly addictive and exciting, and arguably one of the best hidden gems on the Nintendo 64. So it makes my Rosie tonight.
All right. I never played this. This did show up. I Googled just to make sure, 'cause I tried to pull from my collection as much as possible, but I Googled it, and this one did show up a couple times on it. So I don't know. I haven't played this one though. Saturn Steve doesn't even have a Sega Saturn. Explain that, Steve.
I'm lying. I'm
doesn't have a
lying. He
pattern.
probably does. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Hey, so you'll hear in my analysis tonight. I'll be the Andy for this weekend. Andy Rushmore, Andy, and Andy likes to go off the rails. PNX loves it. Oaz, welcome. Mysticles, welcome. Nintendo 64 wasn't my jam. Mort was here yet last week. He kind of got mad about it. For me, I was all the way up to PS1, Super Nintendo, that whole deal. And then went to college, and in college, PS2. And I just stuck with PlayStation. I left, went to the military, came back. When I get back, I got, it was past the 64 time frame. And I went into the next set of systems and never got one. A friend of mine had one, so I played his few games. And my light is going out in Georgia. So
that's the night that the lights went out
in Georgia. So you'll see in my list. I'll catch that.
I won't
light
see anything.
second.
I can't see anything.
But you'll see. I won't have played many of these. And so I tried to look up, and I saw this game everywhere. I went and found some gameplay from a lot of them. And this game looks super fun. But I haven't played it, so I don't have a lot to speak on it. So it was in a few of the lists that I saw. And I'm going to award that. And I did see one that was like rated, and it was super expensive. And I don't know that I need to spend that kind of money on a game I'm not playing. So anyways, let me turn this light back on.
Yeah, please do. I don't even know who's talking. It's scaring me right now. While he's doing that, Retro Wolf, what you think about Robotron?
I have never played Robotron.
Okay.
Andy, let me ask you this, Andy. Is it like a spiritual successor to Smash TV? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, if you like that gameplay style, then you would enjoy it. It's more rudimentary than that. Smash has a little bit more depth to it, but yeah, this game it's up your alley, bro. I feel like you'd enjoy it.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
Ray says, do you think you
Kirk was
guys
here.
could find Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut in the wild for cheap?
Maybe.
Loose,
Possible.
loose.
You'd have to have somebody that didn't know what they had.
Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll find it dirt cheap, but yeah.
I wish I would have just kept that at
first pick,
Blockbuster, 'cause I rented
Robotron
it.
64. Now, here's the cool thing. Hidden Gems, technically, we shouldn't know about them. Unfortunately, 64 has been around a while, so a lot of these will be out there for us to talk about and chat about. So it won't surprise me that I hear a bunch that I haven't played this week. So there we go. Matt, or Retro Wolf, you're up.
All right. Let's do it. So,
First off, tell us your criteria.
yes.
Like what you were thinking.
So I picked two games that I owned and played in my teenage years that I very much love and have fond memories of. So two nostalgia picks. And then one pick was a game that Marcello from GameCube Galaxy actually introduced me to. And it's a game nobody talks about. And then my fourth pick, which is the one that I'm going to talk about right now. It's a game that I discovered a little bit later in life too. I didn't play this game when I originally had the N64, and I actually really enjoyed it. So let me go ahead and reveal what that game is. Now, two of these games I do own. I've got them right here. Nope, that's not the one, Marcello. Two of these games I do own. One of them I own on Evercade, which I'm about to talk about. And then the other one I don't own, unfortunately, but I need to fix that. So anyways, number 4 is going to be, if I can, that's the wrong camera.
Hamburger Helper.
Oh, yeah.
Glover. Glover is a 3D platformer, and they re-released it on the Evercade, which is cool, on this cartridge with several other games. But Glover is a 3D platformer. It's a very unique 3D platformer. It has gameplay mechanics that I've never really seen before. The closest thing I can think of that comes to it is like Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg on the GameCube is probably the closest thing I can think of to Glover. Because in Glover, you control this glove, and you have a move set when you're just the glove that you can use for, fighting and platforming. And then when you're on the ball, you have an entirely different move set. And it's just a really unique 3D platformer. It can be a little frustrating at times, but it's a unique 3D platformer. I've never quite played anything like it. and this is a game I feel like didn't really get the love that it deserves. And it's one that I actually, every single game I'm going to talk about today is a game that I wish somebody would remaster or remake. And Glover, I mean, I guess it technically you could consider this a remaster on the Evercade because it is in HD. But anyways, so yeah, that's my first pick.
I just love all the comments right now.
Everything's Glover great. Stroganoff. Yeah, that's a San Francisco treat.
Sounds like a bad guy from a movie in the 80s.
You'll never get away from me, Mr. Bond. I am Glover Stroganoff.
So Isaac, this is actually not a case for a Nintendo 64 game. This is an Evercade cartridge. So this is the case that the Evercade cartridge comes in.
Nice.
So I have actually played this one. This is a fun game. It's an interesting game. It's kind of like you're playing with the thing, I guess. Like he's got some weird movements too. Like it kind of reminds me of what are those games that they have now where like the guy's just like dead and like kind of falling all over it. He's just very fluid, you know.
Human fall flat.
It's a fun game, man. I've played this probably, maybe about a year ago. I played it and yeah, I had a good time with it. This is actually on my Benjamins, and that's our honorable mentions for anybody that doesn't know. Yeah, like a ragdoll. But that's our honorable mentions. Oh, Ferd is in the herd right now. Look, Ferd the nerd. Welcome, buddy. We're gonna have him on hopefully soon. But yeah. So what do you think about this game, Pac?
The brief stroganoff?
Yeah.
So I did not play Glover as a kid. I played it later in life, and I think that was to my detriment because I think I was kind of in that same vein where I don't remember enjoying it as much as maybe people of their childhood would have. But I was also only playing Diddy Kong Racing when I was a child, so I don't.
Wait, can we call it Diddy Kong Racing anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, that might have been banned. I don't know.
Well, our song for Benjamins is a P. Diddy song anyway, so
it's okay. But I do.
That's probably why they've been tripling over the last few weeks.
I think we're trending for the wrong reasons.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah. I don't know. That's one of my biggest things with the 64 is most of the time playing it, I have to try and put it in a lens that I've never played these games before.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. If I would have had that more experience, you just have that nostalgia. Now I just always compare it to something else. And so although I love that everybody else loves it, it's just not something for me. Now, Wolf said, he's talking about the GameCube collection. If I'd have done GameCube underrated, I would have loved that. Somebody mentioned in the chat the PS2. That's my jam. I would have loved that. But the Nintendo 64, I just don't have a lot of experience with. So I kind of am the same boat, Pac, with just playing some of these games later. Like I have this system here, which is all ROMs, and pretty much it's got almost every 64 game on it. So I've been trying to play a bunch of them this week, and some of them are just hard.
Because
I've never actually
do this.
Yeah,
I feel you.
All right, man. Andy, you're up, man.
Yes,
it's a good start.
Yeah. So I love where we're going already with our picks. It's very simple. I mean, I've said it before. I love the N64. These were just games that I just said. They were not the main line, like nobody can put Super Mario 64 as a hidden gem. I mean, it came out. You know what I mean? Like
now wait, pull back. There was a list that I saw, top 50 N64 games. It was like an AI guy doing it. And both Ocarina and Mario was in that 50.
Now, I'll say this. I think Ocarina is so good that you could still consider it underrated because it's not rated high enough because it's just that good of a game. But I didn't go that route. I'm not going to do that. So I just thought I looked at my collection that I have. I tried to use those ones. And there's some games that were like those ones that maybe if I was like playing again, I'm 35, like N64 was my wheelhouse. Like this was my nostalgia. I loved this. neighbor had it. If we were throwing on GoldenEye or if we were throwing on Mario Kart, this was like when we got done with that game, what's the next one we're putting on that we're like, okay, let's put this one on. You know what I mean? Like those ones, kind of like maybe not those top tier ones. So I did that. Obviously, so then I had to have played them. I wanted to put that on there. I never really, especially with video games, I tried to do the ones that I've played, not just ones that I've seen, right? So to make a top 4 for sure. And guys, I'm shocked. I did not think this was going to happen. I'm going Glover. I did it. Look, guys, it was on my list. Look, we're already Crushmore in here. Glover is such a fun game. This is so cool. I everything that we said about the mechanics of this, the idea of like you're the glove, and then they got like the bouncy ball that you're like on top of and going all over the place. I just love how weird and unique this game is. Like there was no other game to me that did this. I mean, it's a 3D platformer, sure, but it's not. It just feels totally different from these other games. So I think you did it. You hit the ball out of the park, Retro Wolf. I mean, like just to Crushmore right off the top. This is a fantastic game. This was one that I picked up recently. I played it a little bit as a kid. I definitely remember renting this. I mean, I'm a big Blockbuster guy back then, and I remember renting this game. I don't think I ever owned this one. But I remember having just a ton of fun playing this game, and I've played it a handful of times since I got it at the con. But it is, man, it's a super fun game. It's one of the games too. It's like I don't want to put it down. I just want to keep playing. It's a really entertaining. It's easy enough, but it's still got enough challenge in it to me that it keeps your attention. So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go Glover. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what you say, Keith.
Well, he doesn't like Hamburger Helper. He gave us his top snacks. They were all fried foods. They were not.
I'm not above Hamburger Helper. I will get down on some hamburger.
At the convention, he gave us his favorite comfort foods, and none of them were Hamburger Helper. So yeah. So Andy, when did you get that game?
I don't know. One of the cons. I'm not sure.
So I think that's when I played it. Not at your house, but after you got it, I played it here. So I was trying to kind of put it together.
Yeah. I mean, I think this was at STCC, I believe.
So a couple months back, that's when I played it for the first time. So it's a fun game, man. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's different. Everybody's talking Ocarina in the chat. Anonymous and Retro Wolf. They're talking about Water Temple, Fire Temple. Yeah, so
Water Temple stuff. Yeah.
There's not much more to be said on this game. Obviously, Hamburger Helper it's landing. So I guess I'll jump in and kind of do mine. So again, there's one title here today, and Andy, I'm sure knows it. The Andy Rushmore. Yep.
I already have it written.
My title has it pegged because I had it in my Rushmore of 64 games in my original pick. The other three, I was like, okay, let's go through the list of games I've actually played. Can I find one? And then I'm going to go through what I have here and just play a bunch of games. So I pulled up all the underrated games I could possibly find over the last 2-3 weeks. And I just started playing them a little bit here and there on the system, and went and watched some gameplay and found out which ones I really enjoyed and which ones I liked and which ones I would come back and play again. And I think I've nailed a great top 4. Now, here I will say this: some of these games, I mean, I watched several people talking about them. They seem to pop in. A lot of my list pops in all these other people's lists, so I don't know how underrated they are anymore, but to me they're all underrated because I had never played them. So I'm gonna go with this. So my first game is a kind of a 3D shooter. Really great music, man. I had a blast playing this game. 1998 Argonaut Games. I'm going with Buck Bumble, and fun game. I loved playing this thing. Basically a bumblebee trying to save the world from all these like cybernetic bees and the herd or whatever. And what I really loved about it is it's kind of open world. It's a fun game, great music. The intro music is fantastic. But I just had a really good time playing this game over the last few weeks, and it's definitely a game I would go back to. I kind of am sad I never had it, but it was on some list. It was usually in like the 20 area, and I'm like, man, this game's way better than the 20 area. So I'm going to go with Buck Bumble.
Yeah, you took Benjamin away from me because this is a fun game. It's a really cool concept of a game here too. So my neighbor, I think, rented this game once. I think I played it like one time ever or something like that. And but it is a fun game. I did see it on a lot of those lists. And by the chat, Bryce loves this. Bryce loves this game. So you've got a vote from Bryce already, probably. So
all right, Bryce, gotta go make my vote. Hey,
what do you guys think
Agent Smith, that sword was given to me by a guy at my church. He also gave me the blazer that's outside in my driveway. But it is an Excalibur clone or whatever, or what they would think. Whatever. It's whatever they call that. I'll show it to you another time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think about Buck Bumble?
I've never played it. I've always wanted to, though. It's always looked like a game that I would enjoy. So,
yeah, the open world, being a bee, it's different, right? It's unique. You don't get that in a lot of these other games.
Yeah,
Pac, I think you said you liked it.
Buck Bumble is very, very good, but I'm like you, Benjamin was stolen from me too. So like Buck Bumble deserves to be on these lists. Not only is the soundtrack incredible, but like it was almost a Star Fox clone in a certain way, where people wanted like that kind of feeling. And you get to kind of move the bee around in that fashion. I will say though, there's times that camera can make you lost in that game.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I did.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I couldn't tell if it was me because I'm terrible.
Right.
I'm terrible at the whole first-person shooter type stuff, and you need to use both camera angles pretty well. And the Nintendo 64 controllers just kind of whack for me because I didn't play it as a kid. I wish I would have. But the camera angles would get off sometimes, and then you have to kind of figure your way back.
That was an N64 thing, though. I mean, N64 had kind of cutting edge, but like figuring out the 3D camera angles. I mean, as great of a game as Super Mario 64 is, I think the knock on it is always that camera.
It's that clock tower, man. That clock tower camera angle's always got you.
It's like, what do I do here? I don't.
So Andy and I were playing, and I mentioned this in the last 2 weeks or so. Andy and I were playing GoldenEye. My first time playing since I was like 8, or not 8, but I guess probably 18. And half the time I spent like this. And I'm like, Andy, I can't see it. He's like, well, I see you. I'm right behind you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm so bad. I am so bad. Action Joe Figs. Hey, man, welcome to the chat. Hey, so let me just say something. Action Joe Figs just hit, I believe, 300 subs. He's one of our friends from General Kenobi's Bunker.
Yeah.
And General Kenobi's Bunker is going to be on along with his co-host back in Nostalgia. He's going to come on and do another Star Wars episode. But Action Joe Figs, his channel is all about action figures, obviously, G.I. Joe stuff. Go help him out. Go sub him. Action Joe Figs, I'm going to send you a wrench. Welcome to the family, buddy.
I love. So apparently Pac has a Pac-Man tattoo. And I'll let you guys read the chat to find out where it is and the style of it. So
here's the plot twist. The plot twist is I'm the one that did the tattoo.
Oh, wow. Nice. You guys really are good friends.
I'm joking, everybody. It's a joke. Okay. That did not happen.
Well,
all right. Well, let's bring this back on the road. Okay, so that's
all right. So we are done with our Rosie. Moving in to our TJ Jazzy Jeff, our fun name for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
So, Pac, you're up. You don't have to give criteria now. You can jump on in.
Thomas Jefferson, $2 bill, y'all, right? $2 bill.
Here we go.
Okay. I'm just going right here, baby. Tetris Sphere. Tetris Sphere. So, Tetris Sphere, if you guys have never played Tetris Sphere, this game, not only is the music like, and you're like into it. You've got these robots, these little guys right there. And in the single player mode, they're trapped in this sphere, in this ball. And your job is to basically break them free. So you have to move the blocks around this 3D environment at the same time as creating your combos. And you've got a timer. And so it's all kind of nerve-wracking, it's kind of anxiety-inducing. But once you release the robots based on how big they are in the sphere, it's very satisfying. But I will tell you, this is absolutely awesome. And I think a lot of people are like, this is not Tetris. So then they didn't really give it a fair shot. And then the multiplayer, you play as... It's been a long time, but I think you can choose some of the robots as characters, and they all have special moves. I think, but that is all.
Yeah, Nightbot's on.
The chat sounds like it's wild.
It's on edge.
Yeah. Hey, so I put it on for you, Pac.
Yes.
I have played this actually. This is one of those ones on the list.
Yes.
And it is on my Benjamins. This is a fun game. Yeah, I enjoyed playing this. And I like puzzle games and I like strategy games, and this kind of mixes the two. It's kind of one of those puzzle strategy kind of things because it adds another element. But it's fun. It's a fun game. Both of your games have a lot of replayability so far, so I love that.
Yes, they do. Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to Nintendo, right? They just knew how to keep you going.
Yeah. So I saw it. I think PNX said it. That I would say that it's an overrated pick, and here's just the explanation. Doesn't matter because I won the poll last week.
He won the poll with an overrated Tetris and Pac-Man.
Just to remind people, that doesn't mean I don't like the games. They can be overrated and still be a good game. I just think that the hype doesn't match the product. But Tetrisphere is a cool twist on this, right? It's a different, it kind of tapping into that whole 3D side of the 64 and trying to adapt these games to be new and cutting edge for that. So, no, this is really cool. And you're exactly right. The music in this one was up there. I would say that this is one of those ones where it's like, you've seen the memes where it's like, tell me when your anxiety began. And a lot of people always point to like Donkey Kong, the cart, the mine cart. Yeah. To me, it's like this one. And this is like playing Operation on the N64.
So Agent Smith, you're not wrong. Halo is a retro game now. So I mean that's that. We're getting old. We're getting old.
It is true.
Yeah.
Andy tried to pull the Triple H water bottle to play the game. It's time to play the game.
It will say 2005, right, is when the Xbox 360 released. So we are now 20 years old.
Whew. Wow.
So, yeah, that's retro.
Yeah, that's retro.
Wow.
Yeah, that's retro. All right. Well, I love this game.
Retro, what do you think? I didn't ask Retro Wolf. What do you think about this one?
I love Tetris, but I've never played Tetrisphere.
Oh, nice. It's a fun. I would recommend it. It's a fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
10 out of 10. Recommend.
More like Nightbot. Am I right? Hey,
got him. Bazinga.
Nightbot's really gonna guys. I mean, I know Nightbot's being mean, but we don't have to be mean back to Nightbot. Come on. Anyway, all right, Retro Wolf, we're up to you now. We're on TJ, Jazzy, Jeff next on your list. What you got?
Okay, so the next game on my list. So last year, I think it was Marcello. If you're still in the chat, you'll have to remind me what month it was. But I want to say it was April last year. I went down to Florida to hang out with Marcello from GameCube Galaxy for a weekend, do some hunting, film some videos, play some games, all that good stuff. And he introduced me to a Nintendo 64 game that I had heard of, but I've never played before, which is shocking. And the reason that I had never played it is because I had just assumed that it was a bad game because nobody ever talks about it. All right. And that game is South Park Chef's Love Shack. So I am a diehard South Park fan. I have seen the entire series twice, once by myself, once with my wife, turned her into a South Park fan. And on the Nintendo 64, I played South Park, where you can pee on the snowball and throw it at people and stuff like that. You guys know that game, right? I played that one back in the day, but I never played South Park Chef's Love Shack because I just assumed that it was a crappy game. Well, it turns out it's not. It's actually really fun and really funny. Okay, so South Park Chef's Love Shack is at its core a trivia game. And it's not South Park trivia. There's a few South Park related trivia questions thrown in there, but there's also just like general trivia thrown in. Now, that's not what makes it fun. The trivia is fun because it's funny, because there's a lot of jokes in between the questions and there's some absurd answers thrown in from time to time. What makes the game fun is in between trivia questions, you play what I would describe as Mario Party style mini games with your competitors. And some of the mini games are actually really fun, and there's a good variety of them, and they're always hilarious. They have that South Park humor to it. And it's just a really fun trivia. It's like a trivia game combined with Mario Party. Yeah. And me and Marcello played it for like 2 or 3 hours straight, and we had a blast. We laughed nonstop at this game. And I fell in love with it so much so that at the very next convention after that, I made it a point to track down a copy of it at the convention, and I did. That's the copy that I'm holding in my hands right now. So South Park Chef's Love Shack, total hidden gem. Nobody ever talks about it. Underappreciated. And it's one that I recommend, especially if you're a South Park fan. But even if you're not a South Park fan, I think there's enjoyment to be had.
Nice. Kirk is not a South Park fan, and he'll probably talk about it, but he is not a fan of adult cartoons.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine.
But I've not played this game. I don't know. It's definitely a hidden gem. So
yeah,
I'll have to check it out for sure. I did love South Park back in the day.
So I just don't get it. I don't get it. I love cartoons because they're cartoons. I don't need them to be lewd. I don't know. And that was even before, and that was even before I got saved and all that. Even when I was in the world, drinking like crazy, cursing like a sailor, I'd look at it and be like, I don't know. I just don't get it. And there are funny moments though. South Park's funny, just not to me. I mean, it's obviously a great show in that it lasted so long. So I can tell you 100%, I've never played this. But there are like a bunch of these type of like licensed games that I noticed on a bunch of lists that get overlooked just because of that. So that you're like targeting an audience. And so the outside audience hasn't really played this because of just what you said. You probably thought it was garbage. So I just haven't liked it. So South Park's not my jam, and none of them really are my jam. Family Guy, Simpsons, I don't like. I know. So, but there it is.
Yeah. Pac, what you think about this game? Have you played this one?
I have not, and I was just at Marcello's house, and he did not invite me to play Love Shack.
Oh, so, Marcello, missed opportunity.
I feel like you guys had a special moment without me, and I'm a little disappointed now. So,
Andy, next time I'm at your house, we're gonna fix that.
But I am actually with Kirk. I do not enjoy South Park. I never have since I was a young lad. I can't get into it. I don't think the characters are that funny. I understand their brand of humor and political jabbing and culture influences. I do, on the other hand, like Family Guy. So I'm not in the same boat, but I'm in the same boat, So I don't know. I
appreciate the wittiness and and it's a very. It sounds stupid when you listen to it, but it's a very intelligent humor. They do such a well job of like kind of mapping that out. That's a whole nother show. Yeah. And I've talked about it. I've explained how well the writers are and all of those guys. But for me, it just doesn't hit a vibe for me. I'd rather watch He-Man and DuckTales. That's just me.
That would be an interesting Rushmore of adult cartoons, because Kirk would struggle
Oh, I'd have a Rushmore for sure.
Oh.
I'd have a Rushmore for sure. 100%. I could do that for sure.
Yeah, we may
Hello,
I
Retro
don't want to get off
Sake.
picks right now.
Welcome in. Retro Sake, you're new. Might have dodged knock where money want to play. Yeah. Welcome. So, all right, Andy, I think
terminated. Saturn Steve is getting terminated by now. Those are the strongest words I've ever heard Nightbot use.
Okay, Retro Wolf posted loves Rick and Morty. I tried that one not long back. I went through the whole first season, I think, trying to get it, and I laughed, but it's just not my jam. It's not my jam.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
I think the same thing. I think the last one that I actually like watched all the way through and enjoyed was maybe like Futurama. I think I like
what
Futurama
I love about Rick
more
and
than
Morty is
Simpsons.
all of the retro like all the old stuff that they like, the Back to the Future, obviously, but there's so many retro things that are just thrown in there, and I was just like, that was kind of what I was doing the whole time. I could definitely pick an adult cartoon. That would be like you doing RPGs. I could do that. I could do that.
Yeah, you can make it happen. If I can pick RPGs, 8 of them, you can pick
Bob's Burger.
Now there's one that I love. So like I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the place on that.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I didn't need to say he was. I put it up for a second, but hello, Farhan. Farhan's one of my students, and he is our king moderator, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
If you ask him at school, he is the moderator of the channel. Yeah. So love having you, buddy. Andy, I think you're up, man.
Yeah. So for my pick here, I really kind of tried to. It's really difficult to think about what's a hidden gem, especially when you start like hanging out with video game people, because you hear these games get brought up often. But I think general public, right? Like what's an underrated one, and not necessarily that underrated and hidden gem are always the exact same thing. So we've kind of like gone back and forth with these things. I think this one is more on the underrated side of these games. It is a super, super fun game. And it was kind of a late addition to my list tonight, because as I was just kind of like jogging memory and looking through my stuff, I was like, man, this one just doesn't get talked about a lot. But I do think that generally people like this game. Or maybe I'm going to be wrong. Who knows? We'll see in a second. But my TJ Jazzy Jeff, I'm going to go with Army Men Sarge's Heroes. I absolutely love this game. I love the concept of this. I love the fact that you're actually playing as Army Men. All the good guys are green. All the bad guys are tan. I love using the flamethrower, and like, because you're plastic, they melt. Just all those little subtle things that they have in there are really cool things. But in itself is actually a pretty entertaining, fun game. Some of the mechanics, again, because it's N64. This was the first one. I would argue, and I don't have it, but the second one on this is probably a better game, at least as far as gameplay. It's a little easier to play. But nonetheless, this game is super fun. I had this game. I had one. I think I was on like the computer too. Like there was a line of these games that I played. But yeah, so Army Men Sarge's Heroes, very fun game, very unique. Third person shooter type game, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be had. I think it's a underappreciated, underrated game here with Sarge's Heroes.
I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick.
That's a great pick. I love the Army Men, I guess, just the franchise in general. Almost several of those games across platforms is really fun. Easy to pick up. Simple concept. I love the whole like you're like real small, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type thing. You're kind of like Micro Machines or Rescue Rangers, I guess. I love that whole idea. It's a fun game. Good pick. There's actually 2 or 3 of those on this system, right? And that's probably the one I would say that's best out of those that I played. That's one of those I did play this week, and it was on a Benjamin. So not this week, but over the last few weeks. But
Yeah.
it's a Benjamin.
I do like the first level too, if you remember it. Like, what's cool about this one is that you have a tutorial as your first level, but it's like it feels like a real first level. Like you're just immediately in the action, which is really cool. So anyway, what do you guys think about Army Men? Retro, have you played this one?
Yeah, it's good.
Sweet. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, I think I played air attack, air combat.
Yeah. That's a cool.
I played that one more as a kid. I don't know why, but I played that one more. But it's kind of the same thing in battling in the gardens. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I enjoyed all those too. I really did.
And I think the second one was like they really played up the army. Like this one, you're like in the battlefield. But I think in the second one, it was like you're in the kitchen and you're in like you know what I mean. Like they really played that whole Toy Story kind of feel up to it, which was kind of cool too. But the air one was cool because then you could control helicopters and do all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I always thought that was cool to control a helicopter.
Yeah,
I think I wanted to do that for my past life, and I never did.
And it stopped at Army Men.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess I'm not very good at this.
Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of people. I mean, chat is going good. We're at 37.
Going crazy.
37 in live.
Tell your
We're not
friends.
far
This
off.
has been close. Hey, we need 41.
Bring 'em
41.
in.
41.
Hey,
41.
Autobots, roll out.
Roll out.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, Kirk. We're to you.
We don't want that guy, but sure.
Well, he's theoretically a bassist.
He's just theoretically a bassist. All right.
So
So
what a
Fox is in the house. Fox is on the show. Coming up, he's one of those video game guys that's going to be in music. He's doing boss level. If anybody wants to jump in a boss level music with him, let me know. We'll add somebody. So, but Fox is coming on for boss level Rushmore. So, hey, this next game, I love this franchise. I had this franchise for another system. Again, kind of with my criteria. On the outside looking in, I wouldn't say it's underrated. But every list I looked at, it's on there. And I'm like, okay, I guess nobody wanted it or played it or didn't hear of it or whatever. And I guess it's probably not so underrated anymore. But when I was a kid, the Super Nintendo version of this was absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. I'm going with Goemon's Great Adventure, basically Mystical Ninja 2 in Europe is what it was called. But, man, this is a 2D platform game, kind of some 3D action. I played it the other day on stream. Couldn't get my controller to sync up right, but I ended up getting it later. And, man, this game is – I mean, it's kind of – I just love that whole series. I love the kind of the style. I love the mechanics of it. You kind of swing in this big old pipe. You get all these coins. You can sling coins around like your Gambit with cards, and you're just whatever. Just fun characters, fun bosses, cool music set in like a ancient, Asian culture. It's just a really fun game. And there's another one on the system that's also considered probably also underrated, but this is my favorite of the two when I played them both. The other one has more of a 3D action, but it might get mentioned today too. So I'm going with Goemon's Great Adventure, 1998 in Japan, 99 America and Europe. One of those Konami specials, man. That's going to be my TJ Jazzy Jeff.
Hey, is this the one that's like the side scroll?
Yeah.
Element.
So you start out like kind of like a dojo or whatever. You're talking to the old man, and I couldn't figure out how to get out when I first played. I was like, "Where'd I go?" Oh, the door was behind me. But once you go out the door, you kind of go through a map, Super Mario 3, Mario World style, and it's all kind of 2D platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the game. I played this actually with Davey Lusko. He had the system out there, and I played this one. This is another one that's. I think is it this one that goes for pretty expensive to find nowadays?
Yeah, that one's up there for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's not Clay Fighter, but it's one of those more pricey ones.
Pac-Man's pulling off the pistachio. I love it.
I don't have no wax, bro.
So McRib's in the house. Here's the thing. Look back here. Saturn says 37 who set the record last week. Mort and now I'm drawing a blank. Mort and SquarePeg hit 40. Hit 40 last week. So yeah. And like
to me, my
1,300
X-Men.
comments. It's crazy. So welcome to the show, everybody. Let me give you one of these real quick. It's halftime. Wait, let's talk about it first. Do you guys love this game? Play this game? Have some fun with it?
I did play this game a little bit. I do agree with you. I like the side scroller better than the 3D action platformer and I always pronounced it Goemon, but I kind of feel like I'm saying that wrong now that you said it.
I was on the fence.
I'm over here upsetting one group of people. So I don't know. But yes, I kind of love that lore. I think that one came out. What was the first game that came out for that whole series? Was that a
Super Nintendo?
I can remember was the Super Nintendo version I had.
Yeah.
And I love that game. And it's actually probably it 100% is on my Super Nintendo Rushmore if we ever did it.
Yeah.
I love that game. I had so much fun playing that as a kid. And I picked that game up. I remember I worked at KB Toys and I bought it just because the cover kind of looked weird. And he's like riding a tiger or whatever. Yep. And I was so happy that I bought it. And it's just a fun game.
Yeah. This is I like the sprite. I think he looks cool too. I like the blue hair and all that. It's cool.
I've never played either of those games, and I've always wanted to. They've always looked right up my alley. I've never owned them in the collection. I hardly ever run across them. That's a series that I would definitely. I've played the Super Nintendo one; it's great. It's a series I would really love to get into on the N64.
They didn't do a whole lot of side-scrolling platformers on the 64, so it's pretty rare when you get one.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I liked about it. To be honest, is I love platformers, and you know, the whole point of the Nintendo 64 was, hey, we're 3D now, and then it kind of was like, we'll give you some 3D elements, but the game is going to be 2D. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I did like it.
Andy, to your point, Mystical Ninja is $75 now, and Goemon's Great Adventure, I think, is more expensive than that. So it's like they're getting up there.
Yeah. I remember because I wanted to get, just from nostalgia playing this game, and then I went and looked at it. I was like, nah, I will get a different game instead.
Right.
But but I did play it on Davy's little system that he had, and it's a lot of fun, for sure. All right, so man, that's the first half of the mountain. That's the first.
All right, so halftime, guys. Let's chat. Here's the thing: if you're new here, hopefully this doesn't surprise you, and hopefully you can see our heart and who we are. And actually, what we love about our channel is we say this often is. We're not a Christian channel, but we're not a Christian channel. And what that means is Andy and I are both youth pastors. Our heart is serving in different capacities. I'm a missionary and a teacher here in Atlanta. Andy is actually the generations pastor back in Louisiana, which was the job I left to take the missionary position. So we're kind of linked there. And when we started the channel, we decided, what can we do to use the channel to better further the mission for us and what we're doing? And it hit us. We were invited at a convention or two, and we decided to ask those guys. You mentioned Davey. Hey, would it be weird if we preached the gospel through video games, comic books, and other nerdy things here at the convention? Would you be open to it? And they said yes. So this is what happened.
Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
They're getting closer.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
So Andy and I started getting an opportunity to preach at the conventions, and we have preached now at 5, 6 conventions. And it is just a blast. And a couple things that we're doing from that, we call it Nerd in the Word. If you are interested in finding out more, you need any prayer request or anything like that, we can be your guy. We can be your Huckleberry, right? We can chat with you. We're not the Bible bashers. We're not going to slam you over the head because you're not going to church, whatever. We will just tell you our story. We'll tell you about how God's changed our lives, and then we'll teach you through Zelda or Darth Vader or Five Nights at Freddy's, which is what we've done. And you can literally go find that on our main channel, on the main page under Reboot the Unconventional Ministry. And our next time is at St. Tammany Collectors Con. Many of the people that we have come on are Christian creators. They're going to jump in and actually do some messages for us, and we're going to have an ongoing weekly message for you guys down the road so that you guys can tap in and see something fun and nerdy, but get a little something to take away from. That's the first thing we wanted to chat with you about. The next convention we're at is St. Tammany Collectors Con, the beginning of May. That's down in Mandeville, Louisiana, and it's going to be a great time. They're starting to announce some of the people. R2D2 just got announced. And man, I'm excited to see who all is there. Last time Darth Vader was there and I preached on Darth Vader. So good time. Andy, we also have some other Christian friends. They're over your head over there.
Yeah, they are.
And Francisco was here earlier, but I think we did him last week. Who we're going to share. So Culture Box is like 6 Christian creators that we're a part of. And, we all just have a good time chatting up movies, TV, and video games and stuff. We're going to share one of their channels just to go and check them out.
Yeah. So let's give a shout out to our friends over at the Cellcast.
The Cellcast hosts Jacob and Drew review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it's a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or a 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to The Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
So here's the deal. Our next time having Cellcast on the show just got locked in. We had a guy drop out, and he dropped out for whatever reason. And Cellcast and another new friend from Norway is jumping in.
Norway.
And they're gonna do. It looks like they're gonna do. It's in music.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, RetroCart was in here. They're not going to do Canadian artists anymore because that's what it was going to be.
So looking.
They're going to do what is your top 4 albums about your life? Basically, Poetically Christian, who's right over there, did the same thing kind of with video games about 3 weeks ago. We're going to do it with music. So what kind of says your life in music? It's going to be fun. And Andy, we got one more thing to share with them. Who's our favorite coffee bean?
Yeah, well, I see Pac was drinking some coffee here a minute ago. I'm not drinking coffee this late, but we're going to give a shout out to the official coffee of the Rushmore Show.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code RUSHMORE for free shipping.
There you go.
Yeah,
you can order that.
Before we jump in, I've never done this before, but there's 2 things. One, if you go to our main page, every single guest host, including our guys below, and most of the people that are in the chat that's been on the show, I have made a spot where they're all there that you can go and follow and link in. And we did a post this week sharing all of them, and every one of them, I think it's 76 of them that have joined us or are going to join us. And like PNX is booked coming up this summer. We're going to have all of them on. Go to the front page and go and see which one of those channels you love. You don't necessarily need to subscribe to all of them unless you're going to go and watch and share and love on that. that helps their algorithm. If you're going to go and participate and be a pack rat or be over there in the whatever, the wolf's den, whatever you call that. But yeah, so go over there and hang out with those guys. Speaking of wolf's den, a really scroungy guy just showed up in the chat. Arkansas Picker.
It's Cletus.
Welcome.
Can I just say really quickly? Can I just
time
say,
to get back into it? Andy,
hold on, real quick,
you're up.
Kirk, Retro's got something to say.
Yeah, just really quickly, I got to say, Arkansas Picker. He's another one I consider to be a brother. Just such a great guy. Such a great guy. One of the best dudes in the community.
And Keith just had a video. Pick and Preacher had one where he gave away, what was the game to him? That was amazing. And
Dreamcast.
These two guys were in that video too, weren't you? At least he was. I know Matt was.
No.
Were you in that video, Pat?
No, I wasn't invited. I don't understand, but
Keith. You need fried chicken or something. He said fried chicken, steak.
No, where were you guys when he did that? Weren't you guys in was that Rick's convention, the Retrofest?
Maybe,
because I know that one was quite a bit of drive for me. So I don't
Retro Wolf, I think you should retract your statement. He's throwing it out there like this.
I think of you more as
he's Uncle Picker.
He would.
He is Uncle Picker.
Uncle Picker.
Uncle P. All right, man. So, Pac, you're up. We call it the link. If you put Ocarina here, everybody leaves. So we call him Lincoln.
Now is a bad time to put Mario
Number
Kart
2 most underrated Nintendo 64 game.
All right. So, this. Okay, I'm gonna share something kind of funny in this one. Number one, I had a crush on one of the characters, which is really funny because the polygons are really awful in this game. But there's a character called Robin in this game, and she is one of many Pilot Wings. So wow. I put Pilot Wings on here, and I am well aware, my friends, that this is a launch title, right, for the Nintendo 64. It was literally one of the first ones that you could get. But I think so many people did not know what they were getting into that they were like, this is a little weird. I'm just flying around. The games in this world that Pilot Wings created was awesome. Jetpacks, you get to shoot yourself out of a cannon, and funny enough, guys, we go into a Rushmore of its own with Mario's face, if I'm not mistaken, in Pilot Wings. This game has it's super cozy, if you will. Everybody likes the word cozy for cozy games right now. Pilot Wings is it is probably one of the most underrated 64 games of its time. And I feel like a lot of people didn't give it this justice that it deserves, but Pilot Wings belongs on the Rushmore of underrated hidden gems.
Wow. So I never played this. I just watched a video online on YouTube the other day about the troubled first launch of the 64 and all the delays and everything that went on with it. And it was it came out with Super Mario 64. They were hyping it up, and Pilot Wings. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, what?
That's weird. But I didn't know there was a Rushmore, and I'm looking it up. There is actually a polygon Rushmore with Mario's face on it.
Boom.
Fantastic.
Boom.
I don't know nothing about Pilot Wings. But I do know I looked up Robin, and I'm interested.
You select her, and she goes, oh, yeah. I remember being 11 and being like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
This could have quickly turned into Conker's Bad Fur Day. And we're glad it did.
Yeah.
It's so rad.
I think I saw it over here in the chat. Maybe somebody. Oh, there it is. PNX. I'd agree. It wasn't until recently that we found out how great the series was. I just got the SNES one. Now, I actually have played the SNES one. How close are they?
64 is way more flushed out, right? I mean, it's the same way you would apply Star Fox to Star Fox 64. So Pilot Wings had the use of the what was the graphics chip called in the Super Nintendo again? Super
FX.
Graphics FX chip. It made use of that. But I will say 64 it has so much charm in this game. And if you really give it a chance, it's a gyrocopter, it's a rocket booster attached to your hips, and like controlling it at first is chaotic because of the camera angles. It is, dude, I could talk about this game forever. Like,
okay, I was about to say Anonymous's comments. I don't know if you've been keeping up with them, but keeps talking about battle tanks. Pilot Wings sounds really cool.
Every single pick is like, oh, that sounds good, but it's not battle tanks.
But where's battle tanks? I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's not battle tanks.
Retro,
hey,
so
maybe it's
have you
somebody
played-
numbers. Maybe battle tanks is somebody's number one.
Hey.
Retro, have you played Pilot Wings?
I've played it a little bit. The Pilot Wings series is a series I don't really have a whole lot of experience with, but I have played Pilot Wings 64 a little bit, and I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I like Wings a lot, so
that counts. That counts, Andy. You're good.
Does it work? Okay, well,
yeah,
then
you're clear. You're clear. Depends on the spice level, though. Where you at on the wings, bro? Where you go?
Well, so I have a very hot take on wings, and
He likes dry rub.
I like dry rub wings.
Oh, that's my wife. My wife likes the dry rub on the wings. Yeah,
I like that, but they can be as spicy as you want them to be. Spice level to me is whatever. I'm a lemon pepper fan though, and I know that's not spicy, but lemon pepper dry rub.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I like a little spice. I'll do hot spice too, but man, I'm more of a medium, like a spicy garlic.
Yeah,
man, I love that. Yeah,
I like that.
Right,
I like that.
Quickly, too.
Garlic Parmesan is awesome at B-dubs. Yeah, I like it.
Ooh,
I like
see,
it.
I'm an Asian Zing fan.
Asian Zing, yeah.
That's what I had last night with some Asian Zing.
Yeah.
They're not called Asian Zing though. They're called Asian Sweet Heat.
But
I had them at Taco Mac.
Yeah,
So,
but I will say Wingstop wings are better than Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, and I just realized that because we have been enjoying the Wingstop recently, especially with all that football going on.
Yeah. Well, let me know real quick. And this is sidetracked. We'll get back.
Sorry, my bad.
But no, I get very passionate when we talk about wings. Is it just the Wingstop that everyone I've been to that it doesn't matter if you order it 45 minutes in advance. If you go there, it's going to take another 45
Yes.
minutes. Okay.
Yes. 100%. People 4 deep in the line behind me got their food before I did. And I just was like, I guess this is just how it is. I'll wait for these.
Yeah. Wingstop Ranch, though, is top tier.
It might be the best ranch. It might be the best ranch.
Fox says stop. You're making me hungry.
All right.
Hey, so Fox, come back in November, December. Make sure you bring your food because we talk nothing but food. All right, man. Pilot Wings, good pick. Good pick. Like I said, I haven't played this version, but I have played the Super Nintendo. It's a fun game on the Super Nintendo side. So,
yeah.
Matt, you're up. Retro Wolf is up.
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So my third pick, which I guess is number 2 on the list, is it's in my opinion one of the best hidden gems on the Nintendo 64. Did not get enough love, doesn't get talked about enough, and it was actually published by Nintendo, developed by the almighty Rare, and that game is Blast Corps or Blast Corps, whatever you want to call it. Blast Corps. I had this game when I was a teenager, and I probably put 100 to 200 hours into this game, playing it by myself, playing it with friends. I had never played anything like it at the time. I still have never played anything like it. Such a unique premise. For those of you who don't know, in each level, you're basically clearing a path for a truck that's it's got like a nuke on it or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's a warhead on it.
Yeah, it's a warhead. And you're trying to clear a path for this truck because if it runs into anything, it's going to explode. So you jump around in a variety of different vehicles and like mech suits and all kinds of stuff and try to clear paths. But there's all kinds of other optional objectives in the levels as well. So there's a lot of replayability. Even if you just beat the level, the goal of the level, you can go back and you can do all this replayability. And there's like hidden things you can find in the levels, hidden vehicles, stuff like that. And there's a ton of levels in this game. And some of them are brutally difficult. But man, this game is so good. And I don't understand why they didn't continue this game. I don't understand why it hasn't been remade or a sequel or anything like that, because it badly needs it. It is an absolute shame. I mean, I know it's been re-released, right, through like the on the Xbox One, the Rare Replay, and through some other places, but it's an absolute shame that this game has not turned into a series or been remade, and it upsets me. So that's my pick.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get, like, I got the game. It's in I have it. It's over here, and I just don't get it. Where is it at? Yeah, I mean, I have it somewhere. It might be in the garbage. I don't know where.
Time to keep
Oh,
moving.
whoa.
No, it's not. It's over here. I promise you. But there it is. I just don't. I don't understand the love of it. It's I put it on and I don't know what I'm doing. I've heard that the premise is this. Like, what do I press to do things? What do I? It's like it totally loses me right off the bat. And if I can't get into the game right away and know, like, I don't even know.
I think the first levels are all tutorials, aren't they?
Yeah, but there's like it's like the above.
So they tell
camera,
you what
like
to
you're
do.
just lifting up.
Yeah,
and you're
so it's top-down perspective. The very first one that you play as, I think, is the
boss.
dump truck, right? Yeah.
Time out. Anonymous, I see that you're leaving. Hey, look. I put it on for you. There you go. Battle Tanks. It made the show.
Oh,
if it doesn't make the show.
Sweet.
There it is.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, Andy, it's probably simpler than you want it to be, which is why you're confused.
Maybe that's
because you want it to be more robust, and you're like, oh wait, I just drive into buildings. You're like, yep, that's basically what
Yeah, it's
you
a
do.
demolition game essentially.
Yeah.
And I've heard it, and it gets a lot of love. Maybe I just got to put it back on and try it. I say that I just don't get it. Like I just put it on and I was like, I'm switching the game.
I will say, once you understand the vehicle mechanics, each one's very, very unique. It's satisfying when you do the side swipe dump truck and you learn how to drift into the building. See, Matt knows he's feeling it.
So
when you get really good drift and you take out like 5 buildings in a row, you're like, yeah, there it is. And it's just, dude, the music's great. You get like the robot that like jumps at like ninja kicks buildings.
Yeah, dude.
I'll say this: the next live stream that we do, some Fridays we do a video game stream. Maybe I'll throw that on there and I'll try to figure it out.
Do it and give it another go. Yeah.
So yeah, Andy, I remember. I don't know, it was maybe 3 or 4 conventions.
That was
ago.
that RetroCon. That was that RetroCon I bought. That one.
He brings it up. He's like, "Oh man, I got this game. Everybody's talking about it." And then like the next week, I'm like, "Man, how was that Blast Core?" He's like, "Dude, it sucks. I hate this game." And so I was gonna play that game because it was on a bunch of lists, but Andy was like, "Nah, that sucks." So I didn't even try it. So I'm gonna have to go play it now.
You're just trying to impress me.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it another go.
Give it a go.
It's not an RPG though, so I guess it's got something.
You are role playing as a construction worker.
Well, then I don't even. I'm throwing away.
Well, there you go. That's why you lost him right there. He is not a role playing guy whatsoever. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good pick. It's a good pick. I love it because it was mentioned in the chat. It was mentioned in a lot of lists, and I love it when we go and we kind of pull something out against Andy. That's one of those fun things. Perfect Dark is the N64 GOAT, is what Fox is saying. Perfect Dark, poetically Christian. Yeah. 40 likes. Hype. I like it. Fat Boy's in the house. Fat Boys, congratulations. Fat Boy just hit. He had like 1,000 subs. Well, he was seeking the 1,000 subs, but he had the 4,000 hours forever. And we finally hit that 1,000 subs. So congratulations, Fat Boy.
Well done.
So he's a video game streamer. Go check him out. He was on the show back in December. So, all right. So Andy, Rushmore, Andy, you're up, man.
Yeah. So this game, I think, didn't get nearly the love that it needs to. I guess from like the widespread love that a lot of these classic N64 games get. But I would argue that this is this is in there in my top N64 games. It is so fun. It's challenging enough. The graphics in this one are just unique, and I love the style of this game. The music in this game is so endearing, and my copy is all torn up. The sticker on it, but my number 2, my link is Yoshi's Story. It is a beautiful game. I absolutely adore this game. Again, the scenery in this game is just so cool and cartoony and whimsical. To have all of the Yoshis in the different colors is a ton of fun. Again, platformer stuff. It's a 2D one, but there's little 3D elements here and there that happen in it. Man, this game is an absolute blast. It's what I love about Nintendo, right? Some of these games, Nintendo kind of goes away from it. I say Nintendo goes away from it. But, when you think of Nintendo, you think of like the family fun, whimsical kind of games like I'm talking about. The Marios, right? That kind of stuff that anybody can really sit down and enjoy. You do have the Perfect Darks, and you have some of these other games that are on these that are great too. But this is just at its core. This is everything that is great about Nintendo. Yoshi's Story, if you haven't played it, absolutely go play this game. It's a blast. I'm gonna probably put it on when we're done with this. The amount that I'm talking about, I love this game. Yoshi's Story.
Yeah, I for real know this game. This is one of those ones. So going back to Cali, just kidding. Going back to my Air Force days in the dorm, Ron had the 64 and I had the PlayStation. We'd go over there, we'd play Smash and a few other games, but he had Yoshi's Story, and I played this one. It's a fun game. I didn't, in my mind's eye, I wouldn't have, because of the games I've played, wouldn't consider it have been underrated, but I'm sure it is in the mindset that it's not one of the big 30 games or whatever. So it's good pick, man.
Yoshi is also the go-to in Mario Kart. He is the guy. I'm always Yoshi. Always going to be Yoshi.
I never pick Yoshi.
He's the number one. I don't go anywhere else. There's no sense in even looking. It's like going to a restaurant, like they have this huge menu, but you're just getting the chicken tenders the whole time. Like I'm not.
I mean, if Link isn't available, you go way back. It's Bowser.
I don't play all the new stuff, but
it's Bowser and Donkey Kong. But the newer ones, it's Link for sure for me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yoshi gets punched by Mario. Yes, he does.
You guys like Yoshi's
Mario's
Story?
abusive.
Yoshi's Story. Yeah, Yoshi's Story was a fun one. I'm with you, Andy. I like the aesthetic. Like, I feel like that's what really brought it in. It was like Sackboy before Sackboy happened. The quilted muslin fabric or whatever it is, like throughout a lot of the levels.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something that was just special there. Oh, what up, Chill Scissors? Honestly, I only struggle with being fast enough to aim the egg that I'm bad at it sometimes. So that part bothers me, but I think once you get a handle on it, you're good. But it's a really good looking game.
Yeah, I think the sound of Yoshi makes some of my favorite sounds in video games too. And because the music is like all the Yoshis singing.
You're too good at that,
Andy. Hey, real quick, because there are some new people in the chat, and we've been following Chill Scissors for a while. Great channel, but thank you for being here. This is the great thing about the community, just people showing up. I just wanted to say to Chill Scissors and anybody else that has been coming in recently, welcome to the Summit Squad. This is for you. And if you're just getting here, we're talking top 4 underrated Nintendo 64 games, and we're at our number 2. We've already done some, so you've got to go back and check those. But we're at number 2, our second favorite. So welcome. And I threw you a wrench, Chill Scissors. There you go, man.
So Yoshi's Story.
Yeah. Have you played this?
Wolf, go ahead.
Yeah. I've played and beat all the Yoshi games. Really, really like Yoshi's Story. I will say, and obviously I'm not saying it's a bad game by saying this, but it's of all the Yoshi games, it's my least favorite, but I still really love it. It's still a fantastic game.
Yeah.
My favorite one is of course Yoshi's World on the Super Nintendo is my favorite one, but Yoshi's Story is fantastic. It is really good. I think what made me not like it as much as the others is I felt like it was too easy personally.
Okay. Yeah, I did play through it. It's not. You can feel successful at it, but it's still a ton of fun. For me.
So much fun! Yeah, definitely.
And I think everything about like what we said with the aesthetic of it, like we were talking about, like just makes it. I want to play this game because I know I can get through it. I'm not going to stress out a ton. I mean, there's a few moments where it's like, okay, I got to redo that, whatever. But like, yeah, it's just a really fun game.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. I agree, man. Good pick. A lot of nostalgia feels too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump in. And look, I had told you that I was playing a bunch of games trying to get ready for this. My number one is one that I've had for a long time, but this is the very best game. What's that?
And I already have your George written down, so you can leave after this one. You're pretty much.
So my number one game that I played, not my number one pick, but my number one game that I played over the last few weeks is made by those Konami guys again, except they left Konami and they went to Treasure. And man, apparently it's not underrated anymore, but man, I just played it for the first time 3 weeks ago, and I love this game. It was just like Gunstar Heroes to me. I'm going with Mischief Makers. And man, this game is fun. Gosh, I had a blast playing another kind of 2D scrolling type, just in the Treasure, Gunstar Heroes kind of style. And you don't see those pixels like that in the Nintendo 64 too often. And man, I just love Gunstar Heroes. It was on my top of Genesis. So when I saw this and I got to play it, I absolutely loved this game. So much fun. Replayability. It's something I want to go back to. But man, I'm having a good time. Palpatine, this stream is fire. Well, you're fire. Awesome, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I appreciate you, Chill Scissors. Yeah, welcome to being a part of the Summit Squad. Hey, so Mischief Maker. Treasure has a few that I was looking at, and man, this one was just my favorite. So, what do you guys?
This was another Benjamin you took away from me because this is a good 2D platformer along the line, like you said, of the Gunstar Heroes, kind of sort of in that realm. A lot of fun, man. And it's a good name because it's just a lot of craziness that's happening in this game. So
yeah, I love that whole like craziness wall that's kind of like bullets all over the place, that kind of thing. Vintage is in the house. Bill Keys is in the house. Man, Vintage Sport Flips. Hey, let me just say this. Vintage, I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. Who ended up winning the race? Did Mark get it? I couldn't make it yesterday to try and solidify myself, but because my son was playing in the championship basketball game, and we beat the team that's gone undefeated for 3 years in the ship. So we took that thing home. So I had to miss your show. I apologize.
Did you stop the three-peat?
Oh, we knocked it off. Hey, listen. I thought we were going to get second place again because that would have been 4 or 5 in a row for me. So, and yeah, congratulations to Vintage. Yeah, Mark wanted it. That's what I figured. We're starting another one next week. Well, I'm in, and I'm getting better and better at trying to. So this is what happens, guys. Vintage, he sells vintage sports things, kind of like you guys with the video games. And you go in and he shows like his top sales of the week, and you have to guess what they sold for. And whoever's closest, kind of like Price is Right or whatever, you get into a raffle at the end. And
the best strategy to use in that game, the best strategy is to wait for my pick and get as far away from my number as possible because I'm horrible at that.
Yeah.
I think you got $250 for it. Well, it was sold for $30. Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing.
So yeah, well, thanks, and Keith, congrats on your Eagles, man. It's bittersweet for me, but congrats, man. What do y'all think about Mischief Maker down below?
So that is a game that I actually rented I went over to my cousin's house. We rented that one and one of the wrestling games. I don't remember which wrestling game. I just remember laughing really hard at you being able to smack the other wrestlers in the face, and that made me laugh a lot for some reason. But no, Mischief Makers, we rented it and I fell in love with it. It is a super fun game. Definitely a hidden gem. I feel like, especially back then and even going into like the GameCube and everything, nobody talked about that game ever. And it's a good one. One of the few kind of side-scrolling games on the Nintendo 64 as well.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I had never heard of it, and then the more videos I watched, it was in every video, and it was funny. Like people would start and open up and be like, "Hey, you're here at another underrated Nintendo 64. We're not mentioning Mischief Makers because you all know it now." And I'm like, "Well, now I know it from 2 weeks ago." But yeah. So
was this the wrestling game? Was it Revenge?
I don't remember. I can't remember.
The only one I have.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Ooh, Andy, you played No Mercy at least, right? You played
I
it?
have played them. I've played a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I just love
Revenge has the nostalgia for me because of the opening scene with Sting and the semi truck, and I don't know, there's something about that.
I got you.
Was No Mercy? When did they start actually using their intro music? Because like this one is just like generic butt rock that they play.
No, I think No Mercy. I think all of the entrances have music to them. Granted, it's really chiptune-y, like it's. I mean, right? But No Mercy by far was like what? Yeah, yeah, exactly. But like the whole intro like has like Triple H and The Rock like squaring each other up like in the ring on that one. But,
hey, just throwing this out there, we do a lot of wrestling content, and Pac was on there last time, but we have done this Rushmore of wrestling games. We're
at 38 right now. We're at 38 in
come
37.
on.
No, they didn't like
come on.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So one more. We're to the George. This is it. So number one. Oh wait, hold on. What'd you say about Mischief Maker? Did you talk?
Sorry. No, Mischief Makers is great. I think as a kid, though, I didn't know you're supposed to grab the blocks and throw them, right? In Mischief Makers. Like, I think, right? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, the game was just crazy. There's still kinds of things.
There was something where I was like very confused on like how to actually hurt an enemy. I don't remember. It was like same thing happened.
And move them and
Same thing happened with Rescue Rangers. I didn't know you're supposed to pick up crates and throw them. And I was like, why is this game so hard? But yeah, no, Mischief Makers has such a cool aesthetic. I love that whole piece. And that was, again, a unique platformer. So I'm down.
Yeah. Hey,
Superman 64.
Any friend of Fat Boys is a friend of ours. Welcome in, man. And welcome to the Summit Squad. And Salty, welcome. Man, Fat Boy's amazing. We love him. And I'm throwing you guys wrenches as long as y'all keep it cool.
Yeah. Let's pause for a minute and talk about this real quick. Superman 64 is atrocious.
Oh, yeah. If you can get past even the rings, I commend you.
That's the worst. I remember playing that and being like, what do I do?
I mean, let's
I don't
be honest.
want to fly through the rings, but I can't do anything.
I know, like Spider-Man has done some really good games. X-Men's done some. Superman just really struggles.
Superman on the Sega Genesis. It is Superman. The Death and Return of Superman is incredible. You should play it.
All right. Okay. Retro Spectrum is in the house. Thank you. I'm guessing that's Fat Boy too. Welcome, man. Thank you, Fat Boy, for being a part of this community and sharing the love. We are less than 400 hours away, and we were like 2,000 hours away in November. So we are rolling. Thanks for being here, man. Yep, those two are your mods. Well, they're mods here now too. So welcome. So we're talking underrated Nintendo 64 games. And Pac, what's your best one? Your George. We call
him George. So this was really tough for me to go George, only because there's like I'm fighting the stuff I love, and then I'm fighting the underrated hidden gem stuff that I love. But at the end of the day, I've got to go with Gauntlet Legends. This game was the arcade port from Midway that came over to the 64. It was the first time we were ever able to play like 4-player arcade experience on the 64. You could be an archer or a Valkyrie or a warrior, and you're basically dungeon crawling with all of your friends using your various upgrades and weapons and systems to go collect. I think it's like 4 keys. And you have to like unlock the evil sorcerer at the end and beat him. So, but it, games now, Diablo and those types of things, Gauntlet Legends was like, that was the foundation of all of that stuff. So I'm giving it to Gauntlet Legends as one of the most underrated that I don't think people talk about on 64 as George spot.
Yeah, this was a game that, again, one of the unique features of the N64 was 4 controller ports. Mm-hmm. And I think being able to have that really aided this game in its gameplay. I mean, you could do it with one, right? But it's so much more fun when you have like multiple people playing this.
Yeah.
With the Mario Karts, with the Super Smash, with all these types of different things that you have in there. So
I really love the arcade version of this game. I never really played the 64 version. This is a really good game. The arcade version. I remember having the old Nintendo version that was really good.
Yeah, especially and the old Nintendo one too.
Like, you could do the hordes and you're knocking them all out. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
I've not played this game really though, so I think there's RPG elements, and I usually stay as far away from that as possible.
No, actually, there's not. So on this one, there is. You can upgrade your character, but it's not like you think. It's not difficult. It's
all I had to take was somebody to say it had RPG elements.
I mean, it probably has magic, so that is.
There is magic. I apologize if there is magic. You shall not pass.
No, I will see. I have seen the gameplay, and it is, it looks cool. I need to play this. I haven't.
It is a game you need to experience couch co-op with a buddy and enjoy it that way.
So. Yeah.
It's a very.
Maybe I'll get this, and next time you're in, we'll play a little Gauntlet Legends. How about that?
Yeah, I think you would like it. Don't let, if anybody has said it has RPG-like elements to it, don't let that deter you, because it's nothing like a RPG. It's a very simplistic game in its gameplay. Very straightforward. It's very action-based.
I feel like with RPGs, I'm like in Salem. Like if anybody yells witch, like I'm just staying as far away. Like it's RPG, I just burn it, get it out of here. I don't know. It's always been one of those things, but I'll check this game out. I think you can get this one relatively cheap too. Like
you used to. Now everything on the 64 is going up. So
now that Pac talked about it,
I'm sorry. Actually, on my latest video, I just did a video of $10 and under 64 games that you should know, and I had all these comments like, "Thanks a lot for ruining the market, jerk."
So dumb.
They're not $10 anymore. Like, I don't have that poll, brother. I don't have that poll. But yeah, it's good times. It was good times.
Yeah,
I put it on for us. This is a pretty cool
there
intro.
You go. Yeah, look at that. Look at that villain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I love it.
All right. Well,
Matt, Retro Wolf, what's your favorite underrated game of all time in 64?
Okay, I am excited to talk about this game. And I'm also ashamed to say that I don't own it right now. And I'm going to fix that the next convention I go to. I'm going to make it a point to track down this game because I don't think it's very expensive, honestly. I think it's pretty cheap. So
for now,
my number one hidden gem on the Nintendo 64 is a game that I had when I was a teenager, played and beat it 2 or 3 times. It is a Konami game. And it's a Konami game that nobody talks about. Even to this day, nobody talks about this game. And that is Hybrid Heaven. Hybrid Heaven is a third-person action-adventure game with a sci-fi story involving aliens and clones and conspiracies with twists and turns. And it, it has some almost Tomb Raider-like exploration and movement mechanics to it. You have a gun that you shoot in the game to solve puzzles and navigate in the environment because you use it to like disable robots and stuff. But the combat in the game is you're fighting like mutants and aliens and stuff, but the combat is like, it's sort of turn-based, but not, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like you're doing wrestling moves and like punching and kicking and grappling and like doing suplexes on monsters, and like you can target like specific limbs and stuff like that. Also, fun fact, Hybrid Heaven supports widescreen mode, which very few Nintendo 64 games did that. And if you're going to play it, make sure you have the expansion pack, because it plays way better with the expansion pack. But Hybrid Heaven is a fantastic game. For the life of me, I don't know why Konami never went back to that series. I don't know why they never brought that game back, but they need to. That game actually, if they remade it to modern day standards, I think it could do very well. I think it could be pretty fantastic. So, yeah, it's a game nobody talks about, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to snag a copy next convention I go to for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I've not played this game, so I don't really have anything on that. It did come up on a couple lists when I was looking things up. So it's interesting. You know, Konami knows what they're doing. So
yeah, for sure.
Here we go right here.
You got it up on your screen. Let me see that.
Yeah, there it is. Hybrid Heaven.
Hybrid Heaven.
Yep.
Cool little intro right there.
Fantastic story. There's a twist in the story that completely blew my mind when I was a teenager. I remember I was just like, whoa, it was like my jaw hit the floor.
Is it turn-based? I'm out.
Yes and no. Yes and no. But
never mind. I won't play it.
Come on, it's got
Zombie
wrestling
Hunter
moves.
one.
I always
Think
hated
of-
taking turns as a kid.
think of it like think of the combat like a wrestling game. Like a strategic wrestling game. Think of it like that. Don't think of it like an RPG.
Okay. Well, baby steps. I'll do Gauntlet Legends first, and then, or no, I'll do Blast Core. I'll do
There you
Blast
go.
Core.
There
Then
you
we'll go
go.
Gauntlet, and then we'll work our way into Hybrid Heaven. Well, you know, it's again, I can't jump in the deep end. Go shallow in, step in. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, look, I do want to say this. I put it in there. Chill Scissors had some really cool comments there, saying how it's perfect timing for this topic. Just this week, purchased the Pikachu edition N64. That's awesome. Lost everything from childhood. He found DK64. Yeah, it's really cool comments there. So love that, man. And was inspired by Pac's collection. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, dude, Matt is inspiring me too, though, man. He literally like hit Chill Scissors. Chill Scissors has like one of the coolest original Xbox collections too, because he's a huge Halo fan, and he's got the, if I'm not mistaken, Matt, I want to say it's like an original Toys R Us cabinet. Yeah, maybe it's not, but and he has all of his games displayed that way, like in the spring-loaded like sections. Oh, dude, it's so cool. He has some rad displays. By the way, guys, check Chill Scissors out for sure. His channel is awesome.
His channel is awesome. I've been following him probably since the last time I was following you, Pac-Man. I think I seen him in one of your lives, or maybe Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy seems pretty cool. So pretty chill. So yeah, it's a cool channel.
Chill.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So Zombie Hunter, welcome in, man. Slingshot Wrench. We are at the number 1 spot. So you're listening to our favorite underrated Nintendo 64 games. So Andy, your last pick and then mine.
Yeah. So the N64, there were a ton, kind of a flood of racing games, right? There's a lot of really great. I mean, obviously the Mario Kart 64 is going to be one of the greatest ones of all time. But this game was unique. It was fun. It was, again, talking about Yoshi's Story, the aesthetic of that game, but the aesthetic of this game was really cool. The music in it was really cool. It's one of those really highly sought after games now. Now I got a repro, which I'm not a collector, so I didn't care. I just wanted to get it.
Yeah, I knew you were picking this.
I love this game so much. It's one of my favorite games for the N64, and I'm going Snowboard Kids 2. This game is so much fun.
The animation in it, again, with these giant noses, they were just like really cool. Kind of reminded me of Gomont, like a little bit like some of that art style in that too. But dude, this game, ton of fun. It's just a snowboard racing game, but it's similar to your Mario Kart and your Diddy Kong. You get the little power-ups and the weapons and stuff you can use. I liked how at the end you got to the ski lift. So like to go between laps, you actually went on the ski lift to get back up to the top of the mountain and then redo it, right? So kind of a cool little twist there. But I remember playing this game so much as a kid. Absolutely loved this game. And then I was like, it's getting the N64. I was like, oh, I got to get Snowboard Kids again. And then I'm looking up the prices of these. And I'm like, I'm never going to get this game because for whatever reason, I guess it's just so highly sought after. Yeah. Found this one, at one of the cons, and they were like, it's a repro. I was like, I don't care at all. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not doing the collecting it's just to have, just to play. With my kids can play this stuff too. But Snowboard Kids 2 was just a ridiculous amount of fun. You put this on right away, easily playable. And I see Phoenix, the price alone makes it a hidden gem. Yeah. Hide it away from me. Yeah, I get that. So this game will always be up there. In fact, I was actually a friend of our show, Rad Bash, asked me to be on an episode a while back when we talked about hidden gems of the N64, and this is the one that I chose. So
nice.
This is always going to be that one for me. Love this game. What do you guys think about Snowboard Kids?
Yeah,
never played it.
I played it for the first time at your house. Probably last time I was in or whatever, and it's a fun game, man. Really, really cool. I enjoyed it, but I sure wouldn't pay that price. That's for sure. So congrats.
No, I think this.
Hey, look, I didn't pay that price either.
$20.
I paid $300 for this whole thing. So
I will say, Snowboard Kids 1 is less expensive and just as fun. So if for whatever reason, like you need, an option there, it is still high, but it's not Snowboard Kids 2 pricing. But also all Atlas games are expensive. So it's like, it doesn't really matter which one you put on there. I will say, Andy, that lift section, you're like on pace. You got everything going. And then it's like,
just look at this thing's cool, man.
Like when they lift up back, like up to the mountain, it like stops to load. And it
is aggravating if you're in the lead, but you don't hit the gate just right.
Yes.
And those other guys catch up. You're like, I was so far ahead, but I didn't hit this window.
Yep.
And now
you have to thread the needle, dude. You got to thread the needle on that.
But with that too, the controls are very smooth in this game. Like it's easy. It's not. I like just the motion. Everything works really well in this.
It's
game.
an easy
Power-ups
pickup.
are cool. Yeah, the power-ups are really cool in this game. You have like different types of power-ups. Like some are like, I don't know. It's a ton of fun. Like red and blue mean different things. I don't know, all kinds of different stuff. So I'm Snowboard Kids 2. This is my pick for sure. And we already know Kurt. I'll give you Kurt.
Gotta run. Thanks for being here. We're here every Thursday. Go check us on Instagram and tell us who your favorite picks were this week. Thanks for being here, man. I know you're new, and we'll be checking your channel out for sure. Also, let me just go back really quick. Big Fat Chill popped in, and I missed it because I was thinking Chill Scissors, Chill. Just two chills in at the same, a whole lot of chill going on. Just chill. So, good pick, man. Good pick. It's a great pick. So
I'm gonna queue up a video for you real quick, Kirk, while we're waiting on your pick, because we.
All right. Well,
the world knows where you're going.
The whole world.
I mean, we know.
We'll hit it. Well, I kind of lied a little bit, Pac-Man. My favorite game of all time is definitely Gauntlet Legends.
There you go.
This game is my favorite. Like, it's on my mountain of favorite Nintendo 64 games. It was on my regular one. When I brought it up back then, they were kind of like, really? And I was like, yeah, man, I love this game so much. My buddy Ron again, in the Air Force. He lived in the dormitory across from us. He had the 64, and this was one of the 5 or 6 original games he bought, along with Smash Brothers, Ocarina. He had Yoshi's Story, and I would go over there and play this game more than any other game. And I love the whole 4 co-op. That was a cool thing. He had 4 controllers, so we all would go over there, all the guys. And I was very I liked the Wizard. I always did like playing with him. He's not nearly as strong, but he has the magic. And Andy, it is nothing like a role-playing game. It has role-playing like medieval times type stuff, like like any other war, like Golden Axe, right? But you go station to station, you kill the hordes, and you're working your way up to fight. Now, I will say this. My system here, it's the only game that I have found on this system that doesn't work. Ooh. So what I showed you on that intro, shortly after that, it goes off. And I get so mad every time I go to try it. Maybe it's going to work today. It don't. I haven't played it. I haven't played it in a while. But yeah, I love this game. It's so much fun. It brings so many nostalgic moments back. It's just a fun game. It is. I love it. It's way better than the arcade or Gauntlet for me. It's way better than the Nintendo one. Although I love those, this game to me is the 64. So that's my George.
Yeah, crush more on the George, dude.
I was shocked when you said it. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah, I knew I had this. So just so you guys know, I have a running list where I take everybody's list here because I make the poll for tomorrow, and I wrote Gauntlet Legends this morning as
nice.
I knew there was no doubt that was going to be there, so I knew that was happening. But yeah, I'll have to check it out. I will have to check it out.
All right, so last course. Here's the deal, Andy. You buy that one, and I'm staying an extra night to play it with you. So, because I usually fly in and stay in Andy's house for the conventions. All right, guys. So that's the end of our regular programming, and now it's time to go to our second favorite. And this is a quick version. It's just a way to throw some more love and share some of these games that haven't. Manny's in the house. Big Fat Chill. I just shouted you out. I don't know if you saw me. But when I said that, Anonymous is back. Battle Tanks has not been picked. But there is this part right left, here. Anonymous. Hey, Anonymous, don't go anywhere because here's some Diddy racing for you. It's time for the Benjamins. So who missed the mountain? Here's the thing. We learned in the beginning of doing this show that Benjamin Franklin is widely considered the 5th guy that was going to make the mountain. But he didn't. So that's an honorable mention to us. So we call these guys Benjamins. This is a fun game, though. Retro Wolf, you haven't been on here, so let's kind of explain the rules. Andy's going to go first. Andy is going to go first. Then you, Matt. Then Andy Rushmore, and then me. Second round, it goes back the other way. So me, Andy, Wolf, Pac, Wolf, Andy, me, blah, blah, blah. And so Pac's going to get the first pick and the last pick. Here's the thing. We cannot mention any game that's been mentioned before. So there's a little gamesmanship. You probably heard some games in the chat or heard us talking about some. If you want those games, you better take them because if they make it down the road, somebody else is going to get them. So we're going to try and build our best top 8, because the first 4 and this 4. And sometimes the honorable mentions what gets you over. So, Pac, you're up. What's the first game that should have been on this mountain?
The Benji, my first Benji is Pokemon Puzzle League. So if you played Tetris Attack on the Super Nintendo, then you know exactly how this game plays. It is literally a clone of that, but with Pokemon characters. Now, I am not a Pokemon fan at all, but I love me some Tetris Attack. and this game is rad, man. You choose your trainer, you guys battle with that Tetris Attack style Pokemon Puzzle League, and it is an absolute blast. I think a lot of people were like, out of all the Pokemon games that are on the 64, this is probably the least played out of all.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's a good start. Hey, we're back up to 33 in the house, coming towards the back end. Hey, so Matt, you're up, but Pokemon is off the board. So where are you going to go?
It's questionable whether or not people consider this a hidden gem or not. I personally do, because it's a racing game on the Nintendo 64 that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. And that's San Francisco Rush. Love San Francisco Rush. It such a fun arcade racing game. But what was really unique about it is, number one, the keys that you had to try to find right in the game, but also if you travel off the beaten path on the road, you can find some pretty cool secrets in that game. And the game will literally just let you go off the main road and just drive around. And I remember there's one level, and I don't remember if this was in San Francisco Rush or the second one, but there was a level where if you go down this grassy hill, there's like a cave that goes under the hill, and it's just like a giant skate park, but for your car, with like half pipes and loops, and you could go in there and just drive around on all this crazy stuff, and that just blew my mind back in the day. But yeah, that's a really fun arcade racer.
Yeah, I haven't played this one. So I'm gonna pull it up, man. I'm gonna play it. I thought you were going somewhere else, because there are a couple other racing games that haven't been mentioned yet. But Andy, yep, man.
I have 5 games right here, carts right here, and all 5 are racing games, and I'm trying to get all 5 in there, but we'll see. I'm going to start with one that is truly a hidden gem. I believe of this, and it's fun and it's unique. It's a little bit difficult to like get the hang of it first control-wise, but when you do, ton of fun. I bought this when I bought Blast Corps, believe it or not. This was the other game that I bought with it. Super cheap, but I'm going Micro Machines. Micro Machines is a super fun racing. Again, you're literally Micro Machines. You're just tiny, like on the living room floor. It's super fast. It's hard to make those turns and to get them just right. But when you do, super fun game. Super, super fun game. Micro Machines.
All right. Well, man, I don't have a single racing game, so that eliminates all that. So,
all right, then I know I get my next pick. Good. Sweet.
You'll get at least your next pick. Well, there's one that potentially could be, but yeah, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to go with one that was mentioned in the chat. I think somebody might have said it.
Battle Tanks, right?
No, not Battle Tanks. I'm going with Body Harvest. And man, this is a fun game. I was playing this yesterday, and just a really cool concept. Fun game, man. It has a lot of replayability for me. I would come back to this. It is it was GTA before GTA. This is I saw in one video they were talking about this is before they made Nintendo mad. So yeah, so Body Harvest. I'm old. I used to love playing with the toy Micro Machines back. So did I, Kevin. Back in the day when I was not anymore. Okay, let me get back. Another fun first game that I played the other day. Didn't really get into it too far until after I got off stream. And man, this is a fun game. Space Station Silicon Valley. Is the next game I'm going to go with. And you're basically this robot microchip, and you take over all these animals, and you get the animals' power. It's a fun game. Really cool concept. Something I never played like that before. Kind of open world-ish. Space Station Silicon Valley. Nice. That's my first 2 picks.
Okay. I'm going to do this one just for now. So I have this. I may get away from these racing games because there's some really good ones on my Benjamin, but I'm hoping to get into here.
Welcome, 4chan Clown. Welcome to the chat, man.
Yeah, my next racing game that I'm going to put up there is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's a hidden gem as much. I think it's in the huge world of racing games that are on here. We don't talk about this a ton. This is a really fun game. I like the sound in this one. I like the fact that it's a Star Wars game totally just centered around racing. A lot of the other like Battlefronts and different ones like that are the story mode and everything, but this is a super fun game. Star Wars Episode 1.
Awesome. All right, so Wolf, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. Again, it's questionable whether or not this is a hidden gem. I consider it a hidden gem Star Wars game, just like Andy, you just talked about Episode 1 Racer. I consider Star Wars Shadows of the Empire to be a hidden gem Star Wars game.
Good.
So good. It's one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. It is hard, but it is so much fun and a lot of variety in the gameplay. You have your third person, action shooter levels. You have your ship levels, and it just had some really good production values to it, and it just really felt like Star Wars to me, like the Star Wars that I grew up with. And yeah, I just love this game so much. And again, to me, it's a Star Wars game that doesn't really get enough love compared to a lot of other Star Wars games.
Yeah, nice, awesome.
Peter Griffin's in the house.
Speaking of adult cartoons,
there he is. There he is. There he is.
All right, Pac, you got a back-to-back picks.
Boom, boom. Okay, I'm going Mickey Speedway USA, baby. I think there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Mickey Mouse game.
Hi,
hi guys. I swear to gosh, the Mickey Mouse Speedway is adjacent to Mario Kart. If you haven't played that one, pickups, speed boosts, the characters are awesome. It controls fantastic. It has awesome level design. That game is often kind of overlooked. It's just like many Disney games are, and then all of a sudden they get up there like Disney Sports Basketball. Am I right? Yeah, that GameCube game's ridiculous. So definitely
Punk agrees.
CM Punk knows. McCallis. Next pick, right? Back to back.
Yep.
Worms Armageddon.
Yeah.
Now I bring up Worms Armageddon because it is arguably the most expensive out of the underrated, not counting what is it, Super Bowling and what's the other and Clay Fighter, right? So those two big guys. No one's ever going to buy those unless you're a crazy collector like me, so don't worry about that. But Worms Armageddon is up there. I think it's a $200 plus game right now. If you guys ever played the Worms games though, many people might not enjoy it as much. It is turn-based strategy, gunplay. But it's not an RPG. It's not an RPG.
But it's taking turns.
It's kind of like Scorched Earth.
Yes, you do have to take turns because it's a strategy. But Andy, imagine being able to use a super sheep to blow up another worm. Like there's some really cool items in this one. The ninja ropes, the traversing, changing your forts up. It is a very cool piece. So that's where
funny game too.
Yeah.
Steve said he has worms.
So one of the things I wanted to share when I was in Iraq, stationed in Iraq, we didn't have very many games, but this was on our PC. Like 2000 PC Worms 1. I don't know. And man, we played this game every day. I mean, like so much. It was not this one, but the one there. I love the Worms like whole the franchise. It's fun. Hey, I just want to say shout out to all of the people coming in from Bryce. We appreciate you guys. We love that. Thanks for being here, Bryce. You're always amazing to us, and we love you, man. So. Yeah, incoming. So, all right, Retro Wolf, you are up.
I'm going to go with a first-person shooter, Forsaken 64.
Ooh,
and it was different than some of the other first-person shooters because it was, almost kind of like an arcade-style first-person shooter. You're like going through tunnels and stuff, and it was really interesting, pretty fun game. And also, it came with a really interesting poster. Pacmancase knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, you guys look up the Forsaken 64 poster.
Ooh, calendar. It's the calendar.
Oh, the calendar. Yeah.
Is Robin on it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Forsaken is fantastic though as gameplay though. It is cool. You fly around in those like ship I don't even know what to call them, dude. I guess your hovercraft ships and tunnels.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a fun game though. I agree. Yes.
Nice.
All right. Well, Andy.
I'm going to go away from the racing games just because some of these other games definitely need to get some love that's on here. 3D platformer. This was tons of fun. I'm going Duck Dodgers. Duck Dodgers. Super
Duck
fun.
Dodgers. All right.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, you get all the N64 was known for the 3D platformers and all that kind of stuff. And Duck Dodgers kind of gets thrown way under there. But yeah, it's definitely well worth the play.
All right. Well, Andy, you I can't believe you left this one for me. Yes, I can. I left it here on purpose knowing it would get to me. Unless, one of the guys took it. But I actually am getting the four honorable mentions I wanted. So nothing was taken. So the first one I'm going to go with is probably my favorite RPG-ish type game on this platform. Going with Ogre Battle 64. Person of lordly caliber. It's a turn-based strategy role-playing type game. Love it. Yeah, it's gross. It's so gross. I love it. It's fun stuff. And I'm gonna go with this is a shout out to Mort. Mort wanted us to pick the other racing game. Hopefully one of you guys will do that for him because I didn't get a chance to really play that one. But one I did play that he announced on our show last week was Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. And it's kind of Tomb Raider-ish. It's a fun game, man. I was playing it the other day. Definitely a good pick. So that's going to be my mountain for the day.
Nice.
Back to you.
All right, last pick for me. I'm going to go. Where do I want to go? Yeah, I'm going to go Bomberman 64. Bomberman.
Yeah, that was there.
Cool character. Just a fun game. Bomberman 64. All right, Retro, you got the second to last pick.
Well, Bomberman 64 was gonna be my next pick. Great game. Great game.
Hey, the sequel's really good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I hear. I'm gonna go with one that I know is a true hidden gem on the Nintendo 64, and not questionable, and that is Hexen. Hexen is sort of like a fantasy version of Doom. It's get that kind of old school style first person shooter, but you get to play as like your typical fantasy style characters, and it's a fun one.
All right. I'm curious. Owaz, it must be back watching Pilot Wings right now. He just posted about that. Owaz, are you live and just kind of
if you just get
So Hexen, cool game. Yeah.
Nice.
FYI,
right.
Everybody in the chat, if you have a channel, put it in the chat. You guys are all monitors. You can all put it in the chat. And let
all monitors
follow you. So one more pick, man. Pac-Man, how we finishing this thing off?
All right, listen. Just to appease Mort, we are gonna throw
do it.
Revolt from the Nintendo 64 on there. Revolt, as a racing game, you play as an RC car and you are traveling through all of these small streets and through fences and gardens. And dude, Revolt is actually one that I think I originally played on the PlayStation, but the 64 port was just as good. And I remember loving that one. I remember doing custom cars, the RC, just kind of like, for me, it was everything that I loved as an 11-year-old kid, right? Was the RC car stuff. So that's where I'm going. More, I do love Adventure Beetle Racing. It deserves to be on A list. So I'm just telling you. We'll get it.
I totally forgot about Revolt. Oh my
god.
Literally just I'm Googling it. I'm like,
yep.
Oh my gosh.
that was a great
what
one.
A fun game.
Yep. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Reboot.
Very, very different. Very different. But Reboot was also from the same people that did Beast Wars animation. Yep.
All right. Well, man,
nice.
We're landing this plane. Thanks for being here, guys. Listen, Pac-Man, this is your second time on. We've had a blast. Retro Wolf, thank you for coming and join us. You know, it's not always easy, and we are just forever blessed that we are in this community asking people, and they're okay with joining in for 2 hours and some change, having a chat of 30 plus people for most of it. It doesn't go remiss that we are overwhelmed with what is happening recently, and it's just we're going farther. Let me just share a few things. We already are booked for all of our shows up until July. If somebody wants to jump on a show, you are welcome. I want all of you guys to be a part of it. This is your show just as much as us. We let you pick the topic as long as we can chat it. And so our next things that we're starting to book is nostalgia. That happens, anything from your childhood, that will happen in July and August. If you want to be on that, come hang out. And we are welcoming. You find us on Instagram. This is the next thing I need y'all to do. Do me a favor. We are not far away on these watch hours. Go rewatch this at work and put it in the background for us. Throw down your comment of what your top 4 picks are, and go to Instagram and vote who you think on the panel today won the best picks. So that's going to be on Instagram as well. Go and subscribe and like to everybody in the chat. Man, we're back up to 34. Can we hit that 41 before we're out of here?
We're at 38. We were at 38 with the high.
Hey, we love collaborations. Chill Scissors, you're welcome. If you guys ever want us on the show, send us an invite. We'll come on and chat whatever you want to chat. And we love video games. We don't always play all the same video games, but we are in. So if we see you at a convention, say hello. Before we get out of here, Pat, share what is going on.
Hey, just answer this question real quick, Kirk. Answer this question real quick.
Andy won with overrated games, naming Pac-Man and Tetris. Come on. What are we doing?
They're overrated.
Guys,
they're overrated.
Listen,
yes.
You have been given the right to vote. Some of you are not using it correctly. You're not using it correctly. And so Andy won. That's his first W, by the way. So
no, I think I won like week 1.
So we just started doing the polls starting this year. So I think Andy won the first one. I've won the next few out of us, and then you won this one. Our panelists have won us several times, so which is fine. Man, look at these people all jumping in. Hello.
Boogie, bro.
Welcome. What's good, broski? I have over 2,600 physical games. Bro, you're the real dude there, man. A lot of the folks coming on our channel have that. So welcome, and you'll love it. Pac-Man,
yes.
Tell everybody what you got going on right now, where they can find you, where they can follow you, where they can see you, meet you, buy something from you, whatever.
Guys, you can check out the Pacmancase channel on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram or TikTok. I do silly videos. We also do videos and content over at the Video Game Cavern. That is the retro store that I run in Greenville, South Carolina. I have been putting a lot of focus into that over this last year. Pacmancase is now going to have a new shift in focus back over to my channel this year. So if you guys have missed my content for a while, thank you for sticking around. I am back in 2025 making stuff all the time again. So I appreciate you guys. And the next convention I will be at is the PTR convention in Williamston, South Carolina. I'm going to be a special guest there with Retro Wolf, Saturn Steve, and all the other goodies over there. So if you guys want to come hang out with us, do it to it. Yep.
Nice.
Hey, just a few things before we jump in. Manny was just on the show. He has a great episode. Go follow it. Poetically Christian Gamer was just on it. Saturn Steve was just on it. Go follow. Fox is going to be on soon. Isaac is going to be on soon. Chill Scissors, you're welcome. Steve Craig, you're welcome. Look, this is just, it's such a fun community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving on us so much. Retro Wolf, thank you for being here, man. This is your first time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope both of y'all come back. Next year in January, February, we're going to do video games again. But here's the cool thing. Some people don't understand. You can jump into food and talk about the best video game food of all time. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're always welcome outside of the scope. And if you like sports games in sports, we can do video games. Whatever. You all are welcome again and again and again. Retro Wolf, tell everybody how to find you, where you're at, what's going on, how to buy something from you, what convention you're at. Let them know.
Well, first, 3 things. Number 1, thank you for having me on the show. Really enjoyed it. Number 2, if you ever do a GameCube episode, you got to have me and GameCube Galaxy on for that. That would be.
Did we do GameCube already? I think we may have done.
We can revisit.
If you ever do another one, yeah, you got to have.
Think of something else, some other twist on it. But yeah,
well, we can put another GameCube twist on it. But you're in. We'll figure it out.
Awesome. I know that library like the back of my head.
Third episode we did, Andy. Was it GameCube? No, I'll check.
I have to look back at it.
We've done so many. It's crazy.
Nice. And and then the third thing before I answer your question, Andy, I just came to the realization, Pacmancase, Andy, I just came to the realization we're going to see each other not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're going to a friend's wedding, so we're gonna be able to hang out a little bit. So that'll be cool.
Owaz, you're in, man. If you want to come in, hold up. Owaz said it isn't up there yet. It's on my thing. Sega Master System games. That fits into nostalgia. That's an old system. You want to do nostalgia in July and August and do Master System. We haven't done that one yet. You're definitely in. Go sub to everybody, guys. Do it. I mean, these are all cool people. And be here every Thursday. And what else, Matt? Sorry.
No, you're good. What do I got coming up? I've got a game room. Well, it's a collection room tour coming out this Sunday. I do collection room tours, game room tours. This one is really unique because it's not just video games. He has a lot of really cool vintage toys and some video games. So I really like to run into that and not just a straight up game room. I like to have a little bit of variety. Really good guy out of Florida, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. So check that out on Sunday. As a matter of fact, he was in my last video that came out this past Sunday where we hit up a bunch of flea markets and stuff around the Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Florida area. Anybody watching that has a collection, if you're ever interested in me coming and filming a collection tour, please let me know. I'm always looking for new collections to showcase on the channel. As far as conventions, I'll be at 2 toy shows in Ohio in March, not as a guest, just there to film and buy stuff. So I'll be at the Columbus Toy and Game Show in Ohio in mid-March, and then at the end of March I'll be at the Great Ohio Toy Show, which is one of the most impressive toy shows I've ever been to. And then the next convention I'll be a guest at will be PTR RetroCon in April. So that will be in. Where is that at, Andy? South Carolina?
Yeah, Williamston, South Carolina.
Williamston. That's right. So,
and like I have to say real quick, Bryce is a special guest there. Saturn Steve is a special guest there.
Yeah.
And Picker and RNG Gamer. Dude, Zach is bringing everybody out. So
yeah.
Speaking of RNG Gamer, next week, the Canadian Retro Cart and our professor RNG will be here next week talking the hardest games of all time.
Heck yeah.
Hardest games of all time.
Oh, RNG
That's
knows
our last
that for sure.
official video game one. And then we're moving. RNG kind of shouted out like you did, Andy, Pac-Man Andy. Pac-Man said, I don't know if Matt's going to know much on the Nintendo 64 side. That's not his jam. RNG said the same thing about Retro Kart. He's like, you don't play hard games at all. We'll see how this goes. So, man,
we're so close.
Before you guys get out, We got so close to 40. We hit 38, I think, Bryce.
We tried.
But hey,
tried.
let me tell you, much love. I remember when we first started the live last January, we had 8, and then we consistently had 5 to 8 every time. And we just trucked along because we knew we had some friends. So you guys are here.
Yeah.
You guys make this thing amazing. Go follow these guys. Go follow everybody in the chat. And the next time you'll see us is, let me just, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to hit that. Please.
That's
Look
a great comment.
Somebody
man.
said his profile pic makes him say yeehaw. But Dave is in the chat. Dave is Louisiana RetroCon, and we love this guy. Andy Pac-Man was there. Just a good dude, man. Doing something in the Southeast that hasn't really been done on the video game side. And he welcomed us in, lets us preach. Square pegs in the house. It is now a party. It is now a party. You made it just in time. Just in time. Hey, Square Pegs, they didn't beat the record. They got the 38. So you guys still hold that. You and Mort. Go back. Wow, man. I guess we got to do this. We got to run this thing back, man. We got to run it back. So thank you for being here. Last words, Andy, and let everybody go. Tell them good night.
I thought we were just going to keep delaying to try to get to 40, but we're at that 2.5 hour mark, which all of our shows are now becoming 2.5 hours. Eventually, we're going to have a Joe Rogan podcast. Who knows? We'll get there at some point. Anyway, yeah, man, just echoing everything that we said, man. Thank you guys for being on here. Really, the guests and the chat, the Summit Squad who is here, really make everything happen here. We're just two really kind of boring guys that have a platform for some reason. So we appreciate all you guys that want to be a part of it and continue to want to be a part of the family. Got a lot of really cool things coming up soon. Not going to give you all that stuff, but venturing into the world.
Hey, good question. Poetically Christian Gamer. Tomorrow, Andy is actually, for the very first time in history, using his degree for what it's used for. Andy, go ahead and share with them.
I have a prestigious 4-year college degree in the arts of physical education. I never got a job as a PE teacher. I did work as a teacher for 6 years. Although not in PE, I did coach, but not in PE. And tomorrow, I am a half-day morning PE coach substitute teacher. So,
there it is.
It's happened finally.
Make him run laps, bro. Make him run laps.
Dodgeball.
We're throwing that dodgeball out there.
Hey, what's that? I've got to ask real quick, Andy. What's the square on wheels thing called when we were kids that you could like roll on in the gym?
Just like roller carts or what?
Is that what they were, dude? I just remember that being awesome. And then the big parachute we can all grab together.
Yeah. Did you ever pinch your finger under the wheel?
Francisco's been hanging out this whole time. Francisco's lurking. Francisco, hey guys, Francisco is our fearless leader of Culture Box. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's one of the originators. Go follow his channel, Retro Rewind Podcast. We were on it a couple weeks ago doing, or like a week and a half ago.
Hey, 41.
41!
We broke the record. We stalled. We did it. Before 2.5 hours.
My goodness. Look at it go.
And it's gone. It's down to 39 now, but it doesn't matter. We all saw it was 41. We saw it was 41.
And
we did it, people.
Just as Square Peg said he was invincible, he's the one that took us over the top.
It's always Square Pegs. It's always Jay.
41 is the new mark, guys. All right. So everybody, time to say goodnight, Andy.
All right, yeah, let's say goodnight like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4
and nothing more.
I forgot what to say.